All right, everyone, let's jump right in. Thank you again so much for joining us. We've got a few more people that are joining as well, but looking forward to this morning, and obviously in the sake of time, we're gonna get started. So welcome so much to WEtech Alliance's Scale Back Up finale, powered this year as always by Libro Credit Union and the Ontario government, as well as new partners for 2021, Invest WindsorEssex with support from the Federal Economic Development Agency of Southwestern Ontario. My name is Adam Castle. I'm the Director of Venture Services for WEtech Alliance, and it is my great privilege to be here today to help celebrate these amazing entrepreneurs, these amazing, hardworking professionals with you. We're going to have an awesome pitch competition. The teams have all worked super hard, and we cannot wait to get started. While this event today is virtual, we would like to respectfully acknowledge that the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of the Three Fires Confederacy of First Nations, comprised of the Ojibwe, the Odawa, and the Potawatomi. We are grateful to work, learn, and live in this area. Should you experience any technical difficulties, please send a message in the chat box. Shreya Chef is our amazing event manager here at WEtech Alliance, and she will be on the WEtech account in chat, being able to help you out. Also, if there is anything that can't be resolved through chat or you're not getting a response, feel free to send an email directly to info@wetech-alliance.com, and someone will be able to help you out from there. Now, this session will be recorded. A video file, an audio file, and relevant links will all be available on the WEtech Alliance YouTube channel and included in the attendees follow-up email. So if you miss anything, don't worry, we'll get it out to you just as soon as possible. Unless you're a judge, super important, please send all questions through the chat box during the company pitches. We have such a tight schedule today, so we want to make sure that the judges get the chance to ask their questions first. And if there's time, we'll be able to open it up to the floor as well. To start us all off today, please welcome in Tashlyn Teskey of Workforce Windsor-Essex to show us their newest resource and entrepreneurial hub for our region to connect local startups and small businesses to the resources that matter most to them. Tashlyn, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, Adam. I just realized I still had my virtual background on from Founders Week.
That's okay. That's okay. We're still living it. We're still living it.
It was a great week to celebrate. So thank you so much for having me. I won't take up too much of your time because I know this is a very exciting morning for everyone. But I do just want to quickly share, like Adam mentioned, our new resource. I'm going to toss it up on the screen here. So this is our new entrepreneurship portal. So we recognize that there's a lot of great service providers that serve entrepreneurs in our region. A lot of you are on the call as well this morning, but we found there wasn't a lot of resources in simply promoting entrepreneurship to those that didn't really understand what that was or how that could be a stable and sustainable career in Windsor-Essex. So we wanted to create some resources that could be used by either older students, career changers, job seekers, or anyone even accessing employment support so that they really understood how this can be an option to them if they want to be their own boss, if they've found struggles with traditional employment, or just looking to kind of mix it up and have more control in their employment fields. So that is why we created this portal. So I'll quickly just walk everyone through. It's pretty simple to start. So at the very top, we have some of these early resource pieces that are going to explain why Windsor-Essex is a great place to be an entrepreneur. Obviously, we understand that our proximity to Detroit and being kind of that starting step for Canada is a really great option for a lot of business owners, but it gets into a bit more detail about some of our other supports we have locally. We have what is entrepreneurship and how is it a beneficial career. Again, this is where we can explain kind of how it's an actual career option. It's a long-term sustainable option. It gives you a lot of control and just how it can be a great option for anyone young, old, doesn't matter what sector you want to work in, there's great opportunity there. And then I do want to just quickly show our entrepreneurship support organizations in Windsor-Essex. So this is where we do actually link and list out a lot of these service providers that can support entrepreneurs, whether they're taking that first step, expanding, growing, and just kind of working through their business. So we do link to many of our local service providers here and do break down exactly what they do, who they support, and any of their open programs currently. So that can be a really great option for any users to scroll through, see what kind of fits their needs, who's going to be the best fit to help them out. And then the next section is where we outline any of our kind of benefits of being an entrepreneur at, again, any age, any stage of life, and what supports and service providers are available to specifically help different demographic groups. So you can see here we have anyone changing careers, women, teachers or guidance counselors that are in supporting roles, youth or students, and again, anyone who doesn't even have a business idea yet, but is looking to learn. So for example, in the strategy resource for women, we do have lots of links to our women's entrepreneurship strategy project with the RISE network. We link to programs like Venture Women, and again, the Women's Entrepreneurship Knowledge Hub, which is a great resource for learning simply about entrepreneurship and what it would look like as a female entrepreneur. And lastly, down below, we have interviews with local entrepreneurs. So these are 4 entrepreneurs that we were able to interview about their experience of starting their business, again, at different ages, genders, and backgrounds. So for example, this article with Mylene really walks us through what her journey looked like, how she got started, what supports she used. Specifically, you can see Venture Women and WEtech Alliance were really great helps for her. And just what that journey looks like for her and why she thinks it's beneficial to be an entrepreneur in Windsor-Essex. One thing I do want to quickly mention is we do have an entrepreneurship learning event that we are hosting on November 24th, so next Wednesday at 1 p.m. where we are doing a panel with speakers of local entrepreneurs, and that's going to be available to local secondary and post-secondary students as well as job seekers. So if anyone is interested in attending or promoting, just reach out and we can share that link with you in our promotional materials. But that's kind of the gist. So we will continue to update this, add more interviews, add more resources, and kind of continue to expand. But that's what it's looking like right now. So thank you guys so much. Is there any questions while I stick around?
No, it doesn't look like it. If you have questions, feel free to put those in the chat. I know Tashlin will be around today. If this is your first time joining a Regional Alliance meeting, Tashlin just sort of performed what we do with these meetings on a bi-monthly basis. So all of the resource organizations in the Windsor-Essex region sort of come together on this regular basis to talk about new resources that we have, new programs that we have coming up. And we also get to see sort of shared clients. We like to watch businesses pitch, and we're able to sort of help them out from a bunch of different directions. So this is something that happens every couple months. If you're interested in learning more about it or getting more involved, feel free to reach out to myself or Tashlin at Workforce Windsor-Essex, as they're the co-chair of the committee. So Tashlin, thank you so much for spending some time today.
No problem. Thank you guys so much. And good luck to all those pitching.
Absolutely. So we're almost ready to bring the judges aside. So it's going to be such a great day for everybody. And to get these judges fully prepared, we sort of have to give them some more information on the jobs that they're about to do. So before we do that and break everybody out, we'd actually like to welcome in our first speaker of the day, Segan Mckenzie. Segan is a 2-time Canadian Olympic athlete who competed on the men's 400 meter relay team. Segan is also a graduate of the University of Ottawa Tefler School of Management, is the podcast host of the Olympian with an audience that spans 18 countries around the globe, and as you're about to find out here today, is a truly inspirational and exceptional narrator. Segan, thank you so much for being here. The floor is yours.
Wow, thank you so much for that incredible introduction, Adam. I really appreciate it. I am super excited to be with you guys this morning. What an honor it is to kick off this event, and I trust everybody is doing well. You know, if you are familiar with the Zoom platform, while I prepare to share my screen, give me a thumbs up. If you're familiar with the Zoom platform, if you go down to reactions, give me a thumbs up. Let me know how you guys are doing. Hopefully everybody is doing well. If you want to, you know, if you're feeling extra love today, maybe throw out a heart, show me some love that you're feeling it. We're all feeling it. It's all good out here. It's all great. Loving it. Love seeing all the hearts. Oh man, y'all show me a lot of love. I really appreciate it. I'm super excited. We're going to have a lot of fun. As Adam mentioned, my name is Segun Makinde. I am super excited to, you know, share with you guys a little bit of my story, some of what I've been through, and hopefully inspire, motivate you guys a little bit this morning. Yeah, I'm just super excited to be here and again, a big shout out to Adam. Thanks for inviting me to be part of this event. And let's have some fun, shall we? Okay. Hopefully everybody can see my screen. Again, I'm super excited to be here. I get the exciting job of kicking off everybody. Like I mentioned, today I'm going to be chatting with you guys about tapping into your inner Olympian and shifting your mindset to do the impossible, and maybe more accurately, do what you think is impossible, right? So let's get going. Again, my intention today with everybody here is to really inspire, empower, and equip you guys, give you a simple way to think about how you can do what you think is impossible, right? I think impossible is varied for everybody. We all have our different levels of what we think is impossible. And so what might be impossible for me may not be what's impossible for you. However, I think the approach of going about it and achieving it is and can be very similar across the board. And so I'm excited to share some of my learnings and experiences with you guys today. Now, before I do that, of course, a little bit about me. Who am I? Who is this guy with the bald head and shiny white teeth speaking to you guys this morning? My name is Mckenzie. Like I mentioned, I'm a two-time Canadian Olympian, really fortunate and proud to have represented Canada at 2 different Olympic Games in 2012 in London and in 2016 in Rio. I'm originally from Nigeria, moved with my family to Canada, in particular Edmonton. I don't know why my parents wanted to move to Edmonton, but we moved to Edmonton when I was young. I'm really fortunate enough to have represented Canada at many different events across the world. Fortunate enough to have been a 3-time international medalist, 2 gold, 1 bronze. Such an honor to, stand on top of the podium representing Canada and hear, Oh Canada, live and in person on top of the podium. It's an experience that I'll never forget. I've dedicated most of my life, I guess, most of my adult life to training at the highest levels, over a decade. And so if you want to look at numbers, we're talking over 12 years now, way more than 14,000 hours. So yeah, quite a while. Been fortunate to travel to over 17 different countries. And I only say that just to let you guys know that I've seen a lot of good, also seen a lot of bad. And a lot of what I'm sharing with you today is coming from, real lived personal experience. It's not some, pie in the sky, airy fairy type of deal. This is stuff that I've, gone through, battle tested stuff. So I really hope that it impacts you today and you're able to take something away from it more than anything. Like I mentioned, I'm really passionate about helping people do what they think is possible with the right mindset. So that includes, again, inspiring people, empowering people, and equipping them with the right mindset to take control of that mindset and then use it going forward. I'm still training, so fingers crossed for Paris 2024. So fingers crossed, if I do that, it'll be my 3rd Olympic Games, which would be quite incredible. And as I mentioned before, super honored to be here with you this morning and to be sharing with you my experiences. So you might be wondering, what is this inner Olympian deal? What's going on? Well, the inner Olympian is this idea that you don't need to go to the Olympics to be an Olympian. To me personally, and through my experience, being an Olympian is so much more than that. It's a mindset, and it comes down to the way that you think, you act, and you live to inspire and impact the world around you. And the great thing about this is that, you don't need to have any special skills or talents to do that, right? I think a lot of it comes down to having the right mindset and then taking action on that mindset. So again, super excited to be with you and share my experiences. So today I get the awesome job of sharing something that I learned and picked up during my experience of going to my 2nd Olympic Games. And hopefully it helps you to shift your mindset to do the impossible, and more importantly, shift your mindset to do what you think is impossible. Like I mentioned, I think impossible is different for all of us, but I hope that this helps. It's something that I picked up while I was training for my 2nd Olympic Games through an experience that I'm gonna share with you over our time together. And like I mentioned, I really hope that it leaves a bit of an impact with you going forward. And what is that? Well, it's this little bit of a mantra that I kind of made up, and it goes like this: it's possible, but it won't be easy. It won't be easy, but it'll be worth it. Okay, so let's dive into that a little bit more. First off, it's possible. Okay, so no matter what your dream or goal is, or whatever, you have to believe that it's possible. The fact remains that if you don't believe it's possible, there's a good chance that it won't happen. And there's a good chance that it won't be done. One of my favorite quotes of all time, and if you spend any amount of time around me, you'll either hear me say this or reference it in some way, shape, or form. And it's by Nelson Mandela. And he says, it's only impossible until it's done. And I absolutely love that. I love that quote. I think it highlights something that's so important, which is about having a different perspective on what's going on. Now, I recently gave a TED Talk not too long ago, and in it, I shared a stat that I want to share with you today. And it goes something like this. If you were to take the population of athletes that competed at the Olympic Games, which is roughly about 12, I think, to 15,000, and you divide that by the population of the world, which is about roughly 7.8 billion people, and you do the math on that, the results or the chances that you or I, or anyone for that matter, picked at random, has the ability or chance of going to the Olympic Games is 0.000001567%. Okay, so ever you're at a party and you need a random stat, you want to show out and impress your friends, there it is for you. The chances of anybody going to the Olympics is 0.000001567%. And just in case you were wondering, that is a 99.99999% failure rate. Super exciting, of course, borderline on the impossible. And so, again, just a quick show of hands, give me a thumbs up. How many of you would just leap at the opportunity to be considered for promotion? And again, not to actually get the promotion, but just to be considered, perhaps be in the pool of applicants. How many of you, again, give me a thumbs up if in their reactions, would just leap at that opportunity to be considered? Oh, we got some people taking risks. I like that. Okay, we got some thumbs up there. How many would not take that chance? How many would not take that chance? Give me a thumbs up if you would not take that chance. I don't want to be considered at 0.0001567%. Okay, a little bit more quiet. But I mean, hopefully, I think I can assume that most of us probably wouldn't take that chance, right? The chance of something happening and the chance of it happening, or the chances of failure rather, are 99%. The chances that I would do it would probably be fairly low, right? Yet so many athletes take this chance, spending 4, sometimes 8 years of their life training, again, dedicating their lives, their minds, their bodies to achieve this seemingly impossible goal because they believe it's possible, right? They believe it's possible. Now, some of you don't know this, but in 2016, I actually tore my hamstring about 12 weeks before the Canadian Olympic trials. And it was my worst injury to date. It was a 0.9 by 0.3 injury in my lower right hamstring. And of course, it was one of those things where I'd never injured that part of my body before. And so, as fate would have it, it was just perfect timing, right? Just perfect timing for exactly what needed to happen, which was going to the Olympic Games. So it wasn't good, especially in a sport like mine, especially in an Olympic year. I need to train. I need to be able to run fast, right? Speed begets speed. And so if I can't run and I can't train, what's going to happen? Well, I'm probably not going to make it. Right. So, again, here's a picture of kind of what I was going through at that time. And, as I kind of look through and look back on this, I remember, with less than 3 months to go to the Olympic Games. Wow. I remember thinking, there's no possible way. The dream is over. It's done. There's no way. There's absolutely no chance that I'm going to be able to make it in time. I'm going to be able to recover in time, and I'm going to be able to make this team. What's the point, right? You remember that stat I showed you back, that 0.0001567%? Well, that number started to look a lot more, or rather feel a lot more like this, right? 0.00000 to the infinity 1%. So it started to feel not only, impossible, but hopeless, right? And now I started to really feel the weight of like, what's the point of this? How am I going to be able to come back from this and recover? And I really realized that, in that moment and in that point, I had to change my mindset. I really had to change my mindset in terms of what I was focusing on. And I think it's the same for all of us. Sometimes we tend to focus on how long or, how difficult the road is instead of focusing on how we can get to our goal or who can help us get there, right? And that's so important. My point is, and what I'm trying to maybe get across is that, taking actions, especially actions that you've never done before, especially actions that put you outside of your comfort zone, can feel very uncomfortable. They can feel very overwhelming. It can feel very even almost embarrassing at times, right? And it's really difficult to do. It's really difficult for us to do or to think about, and it's not easy to do it. It's not easy to step outside of your comfort zone. It's not easy to do something that you've never done before. It's not easy to, perhaps pitch your venture in front of judges that you've never met or known or you're not familiar with, right? What happens if it doesn't work out? What happens if you don't make it? What's the point? What happens if you've done absolutely everything that you can possibly do to the best of your ability, right? To the best that you could possibly do it to achieve this impossible goal, to get this promotion, to win this competition, to do that one thing that you've always wanted to do, and the actions that you take don't result in the outcomes that you want. That's a tough place to be in, right? And it's not easy. It's really easy to feel like throwing in the towel or wave the right flag on your dreams and just give up. Plus, life isn't like high school math class where you can go over and start reasoning with it and try explaining like hey, I don't think you really understand. You can't show your work here, right? You can't go and explain and be like I put in a lot of work. I tried really hard. I don't think you're giving me fair credit, right? We can't really explain that to life. It doesn't really work like that. So what do? Well, I'll tell you what you don't do, right? You don't stop, and you definitely don't settle, right? It's hard to get to where you want to go if you stop going there. That's just plain and simple, right? There will always be obstacles in our way on our journey towards achieving our goals. But the biggest thing is how we decide to face them, and if we decide to face them and continue to move forward. So just in case you were wondering, once again, making the Olympic Games is not an easy task. And it's hard enough to go as an athlete in top physical condition, right? So if you can imagine trying to go as a sprinter on crutches, 5 torturous weeks of not being able to run or bend my leg to walk, constant rehab, double the work that I was already putting in on the track and in the gym, and triple that on my mindset and my thinking, right? Yet I'd be lying to you if I said that I didn't feel like giving up, or it was easy, or that I felt like not throwing in the towel or settling for less, because I definitely did. However, I had to take my eyes off of the problem and put them onto the goal, right? The reality was I was injured, yes. Would my leg heal? Yes. Would it heal overnight? Probably not. No, it wouldn't heal overnight. Would the process be difficult? Definitely. It's usually never a matter of if, but when we'll face obstacles or difficulties on our journey, or just in life in general. I like this quote by Maya Angelou. You're going to see a lot of quotes of this. I really enjoy quotes. And she says this quote, and I love it so much. She says, "You may encounter many defeats, but you must not be defeated. In fact, it may be necessary to encounter defeats so you can know who you are, what you can rise from, and how you can still come out of it." I absolutely love that. What about you? What are you willing to do or go through to get to where you want to? Because guaranteed, it won't be easy. You'll feel like giving up. You're going to feel discouraged. You'll probably doubt yourself and your abilities, and you may even have to sacrifice some things. However, as difficult as it may be in the moment, in the end, it'll definitely be worth it if you decide to be resilient and persevere. So, is it possible? Yes. Will it be easy? No. But will it be worth it? Absolutely. Which leads me to my third point, of course. It will be worth it. It's possible, but it won't be easy. It won't be easy, but it'll definitely be worth it. No matter what you're going through to achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve, it will always be worth it in the end when you achieve it. Another quote here I like by a guy named Steve Maraboli, and he says this: "At the end of the day, let there be no excuses, no explanations, no regrets." Okay, so spoiler alert here, guys, I'm sorry. I did end up going to my second Olympic Games, and it was an incredible experience, right? However, in the moment of getting ready and preparing, it was painful. I cried real tears. I thought I would never run again. And like I mentioned previously, I was ready to give up. A 99.99999% failure rate. Years of hard work, dedication, and sacrifice, questioning myself and my abilities, overcoming obstacles, overcoming challenges, fighting through doubt, fear, even losing the hair on my head. I'm just kidding about the hair on my head. But all these elements resulted in me achieving my goal at the end of the day and going back to my second Olympic Games. Something that I thought was impossible, something that I thought couldn't be done, something that proved extremely challenging, not only physically, but mentally and emotionally as well, in the end, was worth it. Final quote before I close, and it's by a lady named Kemi Sogunle. And she says this: "The tests we face in life's journey are not to reveal our weaknesses, but to help us discover our inner strengths. We can only know how strong we are when we strive and thrive beyond the challenges that we face." That's a great quote. So let me end where I began. And let me end by saying this. Is it possible? Yes. Don't focus on the problems and never let anyone, including yourself, tell you that you are not able to do it. Will it be easy? No. But to paraphrase Theodore Roosevelt, nothing worth doing is ever easy. And will it be worth it? Without a doubt. You will look back and have no regrets. So remember this. Will it be possible? Will it be easy? And will it be worth it? For me, I didn't think it was possible until I tried. And because it wasn't easy, it forced me to persevere. And finally, at the end of the day, I'm able to stand here before you as a two-time Olympian to tell you that it was absolutely worth it, 100%. And I can look back over everything that I've been through and the ups and the downs with no regrets. So is it possible? Will it be easy? Will it be worth it? It is possible, but it won't be easy. And it won't be easy, but it'll definitely be worth it. Thank you so much for your time, guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Good luck to all the teams who are competing this morning. And thank you very much for your time this morning. I really appreciate it.
Stephen, thank you so much. That was amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Adam.
We greatly appreciate you being here as well. And I think there is something that you said as well that I think resonates really, really well with what we're doing today. And that is, you look at the types of statistics that go into making an Olympic team. And as economic developers, as business owners, as professionals here, we live our lives by all sorts of statistics that says what we do, whether we're running a small business in terms of failure rates, whether we're trying to increase the number of jobs in our region, the number of entrepreneurs in our region, all of the stats are stacked against us for all of the biggest goals that we hold. And the idea here is that we're still here. We still showed up this morning, and we're here to give our best shot at making the things that we want to achieve, moving the needle on the things that we've deemed important. We're going to be here, and we're going to continue to do that. And so, Segan, thank you so much for sort of giving us the inspiration, especially to our entrepreneurs today as they sort of undertake this. It's not an easy thing to do.
Thank you so much, Adam. It was great.
Well, I know our ScaleUp cohort are so ready to get to their pitches, and I know our judges are ready. So ScaleUp in all its versions, Segan, very much like the sport you partake in relay, ScaleUp is also a team sport. So not only does it take partners like Libro to invest in and Invest WindsorEssex to make something like today happen, but a global group of advisors, speakers, and mentors who deliver a lot of the value to each of these cohorts. And this year, we depended on over 25 of these world-class advisors to help our ScaleUp companies with their journeys. I know some of them are actually in our audience today, so let me start by thanking you for your contribution. I'd also like to thank our Director of Operations, Adam Fry, for putting on one of his many old hats to teach this year's cohort how to fine-tune their sales processes and get the most out of every sales lead. Now, last year was our first time bringing the focus of this program to scaling back up, and not just scaling up for the first time. And this year, we continued that focus in order to encourage an even wider variety of applications from businesses in need of the strategic transformations that the ScaleUP program is best known for. Now, the business community, as always, did not disappoint. With over 20 applications and our first time ever accepting in 6 clients for this cohort, what was made very clear to us, and I hope what will be made very clear to you after today, is that innovative frameworks aren't only useful for startups. The kind of reinvention that you're going to see here speaks to the benefits of taking smart risks and deciding to build outside of your comfort zones. Whether you're a healthcare startup that's only been in business for a year and you really need to learn strategies on how to scale sustainably, or you're in the automotive space, have been around for decades and are evolving to take your core competencies and bring them to brand new industries. You don't have to be a startup to find ample value in thinking like one. And that's really what the last 2 versions of this program have been, an exercise in finding scale through creativity and iteration. The mix of industries, stages, and company maturity level that you're going to see today are actually all a part of what it makes this program special. As our clients work together over the course of the program, having diversity of thought within that group made for stronger individual gains throughout. So keeping true to one of our core WEtech Alliance values, we believe that collaboration equals multiplication. So let's meet this year's cohort and explore some of the businesses you're about to learn more about during today's event. Hi, I'm Adam Castle, Director of Venture Services at WEtech Alliance, and almost 5 years ago now, WEtech Alliance launched the first of its kind accelerator program in our region, with support and assistance from our partners from Libro Credit Union. We set out to address the top 5 reasons for startup failure: wrong market, lack of research, unchecked cost management, poor marketing, and a lack of expertise. Our solution was to create a program that will be wrapped around our startups with world-class mentors, deep accountability, and connections to the right resources at the exact right time. This year, thanks to investment by FedDev Ontario and Invest WindsorEssex, as well as our forever partners at Libro Credit Union, we've been able to supercharge this program and offer up more money to our community than ever before. So where are we? 25 startups, 151 new hires, $20 million in revenue, 122 new products and services to market, and 1 national award recognizing our work in empowering our community. We believe at WEtech that ScaleUp has finally hit its stride. Don't take it from me though, listen to our latest cohort and hear from the teams themselves on how the ScaleUp journey can be one of the most transformative that you take for your business.
Stronger You Senior Fitness is an education company. We work with retirement communities, long-term care homes to help train their staff to offer really high-quality senior fitness classes. We have nearly 300 instructors now spread across Canada, the US, Australia, and New Zealand. COVID has certainly been a challenge. Moving completely virtual, having to meet new customers in that world has definitely been interesting. And just getting the word out as a small company has definitely been something that's been fun to work with. WEtech has helped so much. Always just that strategic look at the business from people who've done it before. Never being an entrepreneur myself, never wanting to be an entrepreneur, I really appreciate their perspective and always putting me in the right direction for resources and just pushing me to think about things I wouldn't normally think of on my own. And it's just amazing when I hear the feedback from the instructors, even sometimes when they've been taking a long time on the course and they come back after 6 months or a year and they're still working away on it, they're still ready to become a stronger instructor. It's just super, super rewarding.
Durabyte is an automation and robotics company based right here in Windsor, Ontario. Durabyte builds small, streamlined, automated manufacturing processes. So where others are building big, bulky equipment, Durabyte is building small footprint collaborative robot technologies and implementing them with the highest horsepower processors available in today's market space. Durabyte was exclusively a controls company, meaning we sell manpower to different organizations to help them grow. However, in the last couple of years, that has really changed. Durabyte is now a manufacturer of automated equipment, and we're keeping the talent in-house so that we can grow and provide services and equipment to our local industry. WEtech has really done a great job providing the assistance and the framework so that we can really collaborate well and provide an outstanding service to our customers while following up with them on a regular basis.
Ortaliza is an urban vertical farm store. So we're actually the first of its kind in Canada. We grow and sell microgreens directly to consumer, and we're on a mission of changing people's relationship with food one microgreen at a time. We planned to open this business during global pandemic, and we did launch 6 months ago, so that was right in the middle of the pandemic. But there's always a gap between the plan and the reality. Consumer behavior changed drastically. We're all learning how to behave in this new norm and with this new protocol, but we're also trying to innovate in a pretty traditional industry, which is farming. So that combination of innovating in the farming industry and during a pandemic, it was pretty challenging on itself. When you're a founder or when you're a business owner, you are so, even though you have a clear vision for what you want to do, you are so deep into your day-to-day that you might lose perspective. So that's WEtech and our business advisor is so important for us. They bring that perspective and that point of view that we might lose in a day-to-day.
Tractive is a turnkey engineering service specifically focused on the development and deployment of autonomous and electric vehicles. We're still very, very young, a startup phase. We were formed basically as a joint venture between two companies, software and hardware, and our mission over the next couple of years is basically to help the deployment and development of electric vehicles in the commercial space in North America. Sales tactics in general have changed when we were adopted through WEtech. They've been more automated, a lot smoother flowing sales process. And then with COVID-19, everything's pretty much been online virtual selling. With WEtech, we started very bare bones in our sales cycle, so we've been able to introduce a lot of automation. Other than that, just having the access to the Rolodex of contacts that WEtech has been incredible. We've actually been able to secure and pitch more projects than we ever thought were possible with that. Growing is exciting for us because we get to keep tech talent in Windsor. We get to grow Windsor as, an automobility hub, and hopefully Tractive can be a large part of that.
Castlebreck develops digital software and cloud solutions that help our customers' well-thought-out business plans become more than smart ideas jailed in PowerPoint. We develop, manage, and maintain applications that help people and improve their professional lives. After years of reselling, implementing, and customizing software by other companies, we saw a lot of market opportunities for some problems we thought we could solve and decided to bring our own product to market and scale it up, and can definitely benefit from the ScaleUP program for this. The amount of change in our customers' businesses has been overwhelming for them the last year and a half. And we've kind of looked at the commonality of their challenges and taken it as a personal challenge to develop some standard software application features that we can help them better manage and cope with their remote workforce and quick changes. And the people at WEtech are just great people, and they've really helped with planning and prioritization and helping us form the shared vision of the best path forward for our scale-up.
TDL is doing 3D printing for custom food orthotic. So we install 3D scanning, design software, and also 3D printers into doctor's office. We think doctors need to have like a manufacturing facilities on site so they can turn around the orthotic to patients very quickly. We are sort of the only player so far to have a package to install the systems into doctor's office. So we want to scale up as fast as possible in the coming 2 years to be a dominant player on this market. WEtech Alliances have been helping us from day one. So we found WEtech Alliances is really looks like a window of oxygen for us to get bigger and So it's very helpful. We really highly recommend it, all the other companies to join this program, and you will be benefit for it.
Being an entrepreneur is hard. It's hard work. It's sometimes lonely work. And to have brought all of these startups, scale-ups together and provide them with the support that is unmatched right here in Windsor-Essex. The ecosystem for entrepreneurs in Windsor-Essex is so supportive. We want to give impact. We want to create jobs in our community. We want our community to be financially resilient. Our relationship with WEtech has been incredible. And Libro's purpose is to grow prosperity in Southwestern Ontario, and this program has done just that.
As an economic developer, there's all kinds of activities that you can do, but there's 3 ways to create wealth and create jobs in the community. You can attract a new business in, you can start a new business through entrepreneurship, and you can help an existing business to grow. And in fact, it's about 85% in that helping an existing business to grow or starting a business where the average growth comes from. Seeing the companies that have come through, seeing the impact of the acceleration services was just, it's music to this economic developer's ears, and just jump at the chance to sponsor it and encourage it and keep that growth, that investment going. So wonderful opportunity.
It always amazes me just how hard these teams work. It isn't Monday to Friday, it's Monday to Monday to Monday, and it's a level of dedication that makes our team at WEtech try our very best to match pace. These last 2 years have been challenging for all of us, but it's in the pivots and perseverance that you've heard today that we see proof that our business community can find a way forward. Just a quick reminder to my past self to shave before going on camera in 4K, because that would have been helpful. You know, I have to say with this particular group, it has been such an honor to work with them. And we're a little bit ahead of time, so I get to be flowery with my words, but really, there's such a difficult journey for all of the businesses in our community that they've all sort of undertaken in the last 2 years to figure out sort of what comes next and how to move forward. But I have to say that this group especially, the program sort of creates a double-edged sword. So we try and give as many tools as we can to make sure that these entrepreneurs and these businesses are as busy as possible throughout the last 4 months. And as we continue to hand them tools and bring them new mentors and connect them with new people, they do get busier and busier. And even the time of year, what it is, as sort of things ramp up to end, everything gets busier as well. And yet these entrepreneurs still have to participate in this program. They still have to show up to programming pieces. They still have to come together and collaborate as sort of one unit. And they did it. And they do it without complaining. They do it with thanking us at WEtech for putting the program on. And I'm always just so amazed by that level of dedication that you really don't see in too many other places, maybe except for Olympic athletes. And so you can sort of underline that in terms of, look, there's a job that's impossible. It's called entrepreneurship. But every single day, they're still out there doing it. And so it's such an honor to be able to work for that. And to be really, really honest, the clients that we work with, the entrepreneurs that we have here today, they're the reason that we exist. You are the reason that WEtech Alliance exists. So when you thank us for putting on these programs, when you thank us for all the work that we've done, we're just doing our jobs, just like you're just doing your job. And we're so glad to be able to help and assist in any way that we can. Now, we're going to talk about our judges today. The role of judge in this competition is never easy. With so much to consider and so much information being thrown your way in such a short amount of time, we can't really start these pitches without first thanking the amazing group of judges that are joining us today. Now, as I introduce you judges, if you want to turn your cameras on and give a little wave, we can get everyone to know sort of who you are. So first up is Laurie Atkinson, Regional Manager for Libro Credit Union and our most veteran judge, who has been with this ScaleUP program since it started 5 years ago. Libro's been supporting this program since its inception. Thank you so much, Libro, for being here. We're so excited to have you again. New this year, or new to our judging panel for the second year in a row now, is Stephen Mckenzie, President and CEO of Invest WindsorEssex. Now, this is the first year that the ScaleUP program has leveraged funding from Invest WindsorEssex and through support of the FedDev Ontario program. Stephen and the Invest WindsorEssex team have come on as a powering partner this year for ScaleUP, and we're so grateful for that investment and partnership. Stephen, thank you so much for being here. Next up, we have Anne Bermonte, Assistant Deputy Minister with the Innovation, ScaleUP, and Regional Economic Development Division at the Ontario Ministry of Economic Development, Job Creation and Trade. Welcome, Anne. Thank you so much for taking part in today's event. Up next, we have Janine Lasseline-Berglund, President, Canadian Association of Mold Makers, and Automate Canada. Janine, thank you so much for being here. We have George Hadichi, co-founder of Legacy Investments, a local investment partnership focused here in Southwestern Ontario. And we also have another special treat, Jason Mushi, co-founder and CTO of MobiStream. MobiStream was actually part of the winning team from our very first version of ScaleUp. MobiStream has a brand new product on the line that I promised I'd plug for them called Shadow HQ. It's a backup communications and information platform for when ransomware attacks, natural disasters, and other critical events take your primary systems and accounts offline. For more information on their new ScaleUp product, head to www.shadowhq.io. Up next, we have Michael Slipchuck, Senior Account Manager for the Business Development Bank of Canada. We work so closely with BDC. As our partners, we meet with them almost every single month to talk about what's new in the business world, what trends are we seeing, and we're so glad to have Michael here because he's got such a great view on the overall 40,000-foot outlook of what's going on in our economy. And last but not least, we also have Cam Crowder, angel investor, new angel investor with the Windsor-Essex Capital Angel Network. Cam, we're so glad to have you here. Welcome. So thank you all so much for volunteering your time with us this morning. I know I speak on behalf of the cohort and our team as well when I tell you that we appreciate you all so much. And now let's get to the pitches. So what's great is we've got a little bit of extra time, so we'll have a little bit more time for judges for questions. So the way we're going to roll it is we'll introduce, the pitcher will come on, they'll do their pitch. After that, if the judges only could be asking questions, if you're in the crowd and you've got questions too, feel free to send those through to the chat. And if we have time, we'll get to them as well. So first up today, in our first pitch, I'm very proud to welcome in Patrick Thompson from Attractive to talk a little bit how Attractive is taking the charge on moving our community forward in the autonomous vehicle and electric vehicle space. Patrick.
Awesome. Thanks for the introduction, Adam. Let me just get things going. First of all, let me thank everybody for spending some time with us this morning. You know, I'm not the first presentation, and I certainly won't be the last, but you know, it was super inspiring to kick off the day as we did so far. So you know, let's get underway here. I'm not exactly sure how we would start this, Adam. Am I okay to just go?
Yeah, you're exactly good to go, buddy. Well
Perfect.
done.
Thanks so much. Sounds good. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Patrick Thompson. I'm business development lead over at Attractive. Attractive is a hardware and software company focused on the development and deployment of electric and autonomous vehicles. With our team, we carry over 30 years experience in the electric vehicle field. Co-founders, Pat and Viren, Managing Director Ani, myself, our mechanical design engineer Alicia, our content specialist Matt, and program manager Gaurav make up our team over here at Attractive. Attractive is focused on electrified and conventional powertrain systems, the integration of hardware and software support for ADAS systems, the design, development, and control of advanced chassis, body, and HVAC control systems for all vehicle types. So Attractive envisions a world where companies work together to develop pragmatic solutions and move the world forward. We aim to create the best integrated hardware and software solutions for future mobility. We aim to innovate and be the preferred resource for the development of advanced electric and autonomous vehicles, and repeat. We don't only want to build you a prototype, but we want to build you a prototype that can make it all the way through to production. The problem today is that climate change is a global issue. It cannot be solved by just any one country. And a fact of the matter is transportation of goods and services actually accounts for 24% of global CO2 emissions. Now, countries have taken steps towards decarbonization, such as China announcing their plan for 2060, starting with commercial transport, India is fast-tracking electric fleets. It's actually one of the fastest growing sectors in the world. And North America just announced an investment of over $8.5 billion for charging infrastructure using leading OEMs to promote electric vehicles. eTractive's contribution will be the focus on commercial electric vehicles, whether this be developing cutting-edge hardware and software for electric vehicles, hybrids, and fuel cell vehicles, the design of primary and supporting systems, custom control systems and analysis to enable successful prototype developments, and we are working on our own in-house autonomous algorithm development. So our growth over the past 5 months has been something that I never thought was possible, not only through the help of WEtech facilitating a lot of our projects and introducing us to the right people to get started, but now today, just a short while later, we're now a shop full of customer projects ranging from passenger cars, commercial truck, and commercial bus, from anything from class 2 to class 8, involving electric and autonomous features. So our growth in the near future is entirely dependent on being able to bring on more staff into our organization. We're currently actively hiring 5 employees, an electrical engineer, mechanical engineer, design engineer, and 2 in-house technicians. This is to facilitate the 25 projects in our pipeline, some of which include opening a second location focusing on motorsports up in Barrie. We can now officially announce our involvement in Project Arrow. So for Project Arrow, we're in charge of the integration of all electronic and autonomous systems and digital networks. And eTractive is also diversifying from an engineering service, and we're going to introduce a display screen product. The potential sales total up to about $6.5 million. Now, eTractive is not only focused on North American markets, we're also heavily engaged in developing markets such as India and Thailand, who have embraced electrification. And we found a niche specifically in the United Kingdom because they're focused on class 8 hydrogen vehicles. So our customers are OEMs, end users, and mobility startups. OEM level engineering is something we have experience in and we're comfortable operating at. It's an extremely lucrative market for our company. End users, so if you are a fleet owner, whether it be 1 or 500 units and you're interested in electrification, we want to be the ones to help you get there. And mobility startups. If you're a mobility startup looking to find your footing in the electrification industry, we offer various programs to either facilitate your projects or train your team to the next level. Some of our internal projects include hiring new staff. So the quicker we can scale up, the better we will be. We want to continue developing our skateboard chassis as a product and ensuring that nothing we do is missed by other investors or potential partners. So we're focused heavily on press release campaigns, as well as social media campaigns. Some customer projects include advancements in electrified trucking, our own software development, including autonomous algorithms, and partnering with different companies. Our competition is large engineering firms and small consulting firms, and eTractive falls somewhere in the middle. So large engineering firms have high prices and short-term partnerships. We call this a black curtain approach. They have very little interest in assisting small companies, and they do not offer training programs to smaller companies. Whereas a small consulting firm lacks a specifically hydrogen and electric vehicle experience, and the staff themselves lack training with electric vehicles. We compete in the marketplace by being extremely flexible, not only on timing, but on pricing. We offer very clear direction to our customers even after the final project has been delivered as for next steps. We're cost efficient, but although we're cost efficient, we don't sacrifice any OEM experience with our pricing. We're unique in the marketplace in that we offer training on electrification and autonomous vehicles for your staff. We're extremely flexible when it comes to a project, whether it be a kickoff date, anything that bumps in the roads, or an altered deliverable. And we're always seeking relevant projects based on demand. An example of this is cybersecurity and autonomous features. Over the past year has become extremely relevant, and I'm happy to say now that eTractive is cybersecurity certified, and we can begin facilitating those projects in-house. So I wanted to bring up today our next generation truck program. So eTractive's next generation truck program is a truck program that's going to integrate the latest advancements in electrified trucking. The program is open to suppliers and developers of electrification technology. We're looking specifically for new and emerging companies that have cutting edge technology in powertrain and e-axle, power conversion, battery and charging systems, and auxiliary systems for electric vehicles. So should we be selected today, we do want to use this amount of money for the truck program. This is going to be to create avenues for partnerships with those mobility startups so that eTractive can accelerate the reduction of transportation emissions by helping mobility startups get into the marketplace at such a critical time. We want to demonstrate eTractive's integration capabilities. That's why none of the technology has been pre-selected. eTractive can integrate anything on the market, and we want to demonstrate that we can. And we're going to use this as a showpiece over the next 2 years at work truck shows and electrification shows. The distribution of funds will go through facilitating some engineering costs for these mobility startups, as well as training and hiring in-house technicians to accelerate the EV skill set here in Windsor, as well as advertising, ensuring that nothing that we do is missed by the media. I want to thank our panel today for sitting in. Thank you from the entire eTractive team. And just with the few seconds left, I do want to give WEtech a major shout out, specifically Castle. Thank you for everything you've done over the past couple of months.
Well done, buddy. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, judges, do we have questions? Feel free to turn your mics and cameras on.
Hi, Adam. It's Laurie. I do have a question.
Absolutely.
Great job, Patrick, on the presentation. Just a couple of questions. How many customers does eTractive currently have?
So currently with our staff in-house, so we sit currently 5 in-house staff, and we're maxed out with currently 4 customers.
Perfect. And you mentioned using the funds, how you were going to use the funds, and pardon me for not knowing the acronym, NRE?
Yeah, so that's non-renewable engineering. So it's essentially just facilitating the engineering costs for those mobility startups.
Great. Thank you very much.
And this is Steve. Patrick, thank you for a great presentation. I just also missed one of the slides you talked about, I think your pipeline with active clients and the value in the pipeline. Can you just give me that again?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me share my screen once more.
Or just, you just give me the figures.
Yeah, no worries. I can share it right now.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Okay, pipeline. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Thank you very much.
No worries.
Thanks, Adam.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like Anne has a question. Anne, go ahead.
Thanks so much. Thanks very much, Patrick. That was very interesting. And certainly in terms of the work that my ministry does and my division as well. As you know, the Premier and Minister Fedeli yesterday announced the Driving Prosperity 2. And there's quite a bit in there on the electrification of mobility, cars and trucks and everything. So, and of course, we're also through OCI involved in Project Arrow. So just want to say this is incredibly timely in terms of some of the work that my ministry and my division is leading.
Yeah, I'm sure our paths will cross again with the involvement with Project Arrow.
I look forward to it. Thank you.
Me as well.
Thanks so much, Anne. Cam, it looks like you've got a question there.
Yeah, great pitch. Just wondering what the margins are when you bring a customer in.
So they vary based on the deliverables. So our very first customer, essentially building that prototype is a great first way to get in the door. And then helping them develop that, whether it be, QC gateways or like the BOM going into the vehicle for production standards, that's where the margins increase. So for the margins on the proto vehicle, usually about 20 to 25%, and then going upwards, helping them facilitate to production.
And just another question, from a competition standpoint, I saw that you had, big consulting, small consulting, what's to say, a big electric company just saying, we're going to do this. How do you guys build a moat around that?
Yeah, so I guess what differs us is that we don't have a horse in the race. So there are different companies doing this, kind of as their own entity, but we don't want to prioritize any motor based on a certain client. So with us having just a blank slate for every project, we can recommend actually what's best for the vehicle in the time that they need based on the budget, rather than trying to push a product.
Thanks, Patrick.
Wonderful. Janine, one last question.
Yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about your plans for expansion in the Barrie area, I think is what you mentioned. Is that already underway, or is that included in the number of projects that you have in the pipeline?
Nope, so that is underway. So basically there's going to be a new raceway going up in Barrie called Oro Station. And we're going to be involved in Oro Station. Exactly. So we're going to do what's called future-proofing classic cars. So we're going to do specifically classic car conversions into EVs. So one of the customers that we have wants to electrify a 58 Corvette. So we're going to develop an e-chassis for him, and then remove the internal combustion engine, put it in a glass case for a demonstration piece, and then his car will be a battery-powered car when it leaves our shop.
Gotcha. So the research going into that expansion, then did that opportunity just present itself, or did you guys specifically choose the segment of classic cars, to be something? Because to me, that might be a potential opportunity for growth.
Yeah, so it wasn't as apparent to us until we returned from SEMA. So we went to an aftermarket car show, and while we were there, we sat in on a panel for electrification, and we realized that all of these hot rod shops are interested in electrification for the performance aspect, but they have no real way to get there. So working with all this high voltage wiring is extremely dangerous. And I want to emphasize that to anybody maybe thinking they can do it in their garage. It's very, very dangerous working with this high voltage wiring. So we're going to, not only introduce a training program for them, but we're also developing an actual drop-in kit where if we can pre-assemble a lot of the, dangerous components, we can sell a prefabricated kit to these consumers, or we can do it in our Barrie location.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And thank you for the presentation, Patrick. You might want to put that though in your presentation. Don't try this at home.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Patrick. I appreciate it. And not everyone knows this, but Patrick was trying out one of the one-wheeled electric vehicles in their shop and took a spill last week. So we're very thankful that he's here and not in traction. So Pat, thanks for being here, buddy.
Yeah, anything but a hospital bed anytime. Thank you so much, everybody, for your time today. Adam, you've done a great job over the past couple months. It's great getting to meet you, and thank you to all the panelists.
Thanks, buddy. Well done.
Awesome.
Up next, we've got the amazing OLT Foot Care. Young is an entrepreneur that over the last 4 months, the more I've learned about him, the more interesting he becomes every single day. So Young, so excited to have your presentation. Thank you so much for being here, and take it away.
Okay, so let me share my screen first. Okay, good morning, everybody. Can you see my screen now? Okay, hopefully you can see. Okay,
yeah, we can see it great.
Okay, let's get started. My name is Jan. I'm from TDL Systems, Inc. We do have a system including hardware, software for in-clinic 3D printing of custom food orthotics. This system is built for podiatrists, podologists, and chiropractors. So we deal a lot of doctors. This is the map of the doctors we have installed our systems in their clinic. We have systems in UK, Australia, Malaysia, China, Japan, and the US, Canada. So we served about 20,000 patients so far, and we enjoy about 35 to 40% increase year over year. And so far we have about 200 printers installed worldwide. So there's some pictures of the printers we installed in different locations. So custom food orthotic actually is used by those doctors to treat various food conditions like diabetic foot, plantar fasciitis, those kind of things. And in North America, actually, we have a major 3 doctor groups dealing with custom food orthotic. They are podiatrists, podologists, and also chiropractors. There are a large number of those doctors and seeing a large number of patients every day. And in North America alone, last year, the whole market is 1.1 billion US dollars, and it is going to grow roughly 6% year over year for the coming 7 years. So it's a huge market. So what's the current way to do custom food orthotics? So you visit a doctor in clinic, so they can take food casting and send over to a lab. So you can see each pictures here representing a step. So it has to be done off-site, and it's manual process most of the time, and the doctor's not involved. So take about 14 days and also $100 for a doctor to pay for a lab to do so. Another big thing is like it creates a huge waste during the process. And we developed a system to turn this process into a new process, which gonna involve with an iPhone or iPad with our special design mirror attached, and also our scanning app. So you can scan patients' food in your clinic and design the food orthotic in your clinic by using our software, and then print out the orthotic in your clinic. So you can see it take about 5 hours to finish one pair, and the cost for a doctor is $25. So it's a huge improvement compared to the conventional method. And also, by the way, this is all digital, so there's no waste produced, and also very, very easy to remake. If a patient need to make adjustment, you just pull the data out, make some adjustment, and print it again. So it's very quick, easy. So our business model, as we mentioned before, so we use iPhone or iPad to scan patient's foot into a digital form. Then doctor gonna use that data and design an orthotic device on their computer, and then print them out and create the different devices. So this has got 3 different stages we call 3D scanning, and next stage is digital design and also 3D printing. So all those 3 stages all contribute to our revenue actually. So we have 3D scanning. You can see we charge fees on the mirror and also the app, and also digital design. We have a data processing fee for each patient goes through our system. Finally, for 3D printing part of it, we have various charges on that, printers, materials, and also we have dryers and accessories containers with the printing. So for 3D design, scanning part of it, we also have IP protections on that, our own app, and also the special mirror. The biggest protection we have so far actually is digital design software, so which we designed together with a doctor in the past 5 years. So this is designed for doctor to use in their clinic, very easy to use. So for 3D printing, we also have several patents granted, and also we designed a lot of accessory devices, which is the first in the whole world to dry the material, to keep them dry, that kind of things. So we do have a lot of IP protections going this way. Regarding to our competition, so far we are still the only one in the world which deliver in-clinic 3D printing solution for custom food orthotic, because we have a complete solution. So the biggest key here is orthotic design software. So this is designed for doctors, easy to use, speaking in their language. So again, so our 3D printing is decentralized. So it's not meant to be used as a lab. So we have already several patents granted, and also several patents in pending. So our key members, my background actually is automotive. I did a lot of 3D scanning for automotive, for Toyota, Nissan, Honda. So for their clay model design center, and also for engine block inspections. So after I met with Dr. Paul Langer, so we decided to take another direction, so into custom food orthotic. So you can see Dr. Paul Langer served as our medical director So he is a podiatrist based in US. So we work together to come up, push this project forward. So ScaleUP journey, actually, we are so lucky to be part of this program this year. And we had so many very useful webinars. And also we had a chance to review our marketing strategies with WEtech together. So we decided to focus on digital marketing, especially online webinars for doctors. So we had our first one, and also we got 7 new doctors sign up after that. And we all have our second one actually tonight. So any extra funding we receive, basically we're going to use that for digital marketing as a breakdown show up here. So regarding the revenues we have so far, and we have like a past 3 years and also 5 years in projection, you can see we are shooting up. Hopefully we can sign up doctors like maybe 5 or 10 doctors a month. So we will be shoot close to $4 million in 5 years. So thank you so much. As I said, that we are moving forward full speed. Any extra funding for us will be a big boost to this. Thank you so much.
Yang. Thank you, Yang. Well done.
Okay,
well done.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Judges, do we have some questions? Oh, Janine, quick on the camera there. Go for it.
Yeah, I'm getting faster at the camera and stuff. Great presentation, Young, and thank you for that information. It's a really exciting project. My one question is, what is the barrier for doctors in their ability to adopt this kind of technology? What is the one problem? Is it only marketing and making them aware, or are there other challenges why a doctor would not choose to go this direction?
Okay, so it's all dependent on doctors. Like we found out for doctors, they don't want to take a new approach or new way to do it. Maybe it's hard to convince them. They are quite busy. Most of them seeing at least 30 patients a day. Mm-hmm. So you really have to spend some time to convince them. And we glad we had Dr. Paul Langer with us. So most of the time, we have like an online webinar, and actually is hosted by Dr. Paul Langer. He showed other doctors his setup in his clinic. So it's very convincing. And I think we didn't do a good job regarding the marketing. All the doctors so far found us instead of we go out find them, because I was so busy developing all things. And they Googled it and found us. Some doctors flew over from Australia, come to Windsor to see the system. Other doctors, like from Los Angeles, came over. So I think we need to come up with a really strong, proactive marketing to present us, to make sure every doctors know we are here.
Okay, that's it. Thank you. And I have another question, if that's okay, Adam.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, just on the materials side of things. So it looks to me, based on your presentation, that you will be supplying the materials for these specific orthotics. And yep. So I'm thinking that you buy them bulk and then charge and mark up the material and the volume to your doctors as part of your revenue model?
Yes.
Okay.
All those materials has special colors and also special material properties. Most of the other materials available on the market is either too soft, gonna be too difficult to print, or too rigid, or too firm. So ours is like we found out what's the best for doctors.
Okay, so and that's the point I'm making, is that the materials have been selected specifically for this process, and so they can only buy the material through you. Do they also have to store a lot of material in their offices in order to be able to supply this service?
One spool of material is 1 kilo, good for about 10 pairs. So usually they have 3 or 4 extra spools in their office.
Okay. All right. That answers the question. Perfect. Thank you so much. And thank you for your presentation.
Thanks, Janine. Next question. Anna, it looks like you have a question.
I do. Thanks very much. Thanks so much, Young. That was a great presentation. Very, very
Thank you.
interesting. My question is somewhat related, and that is, just in terms of the growth that you've projected, that last chart, by the way, which I didn't really get a chance to really look at, but it looks like, you're really projecting like significant growth from where you started in 2018 to 2026. And I'm just wondering, because, most physicians, doctors, regardless of your practice, sort of get stuck in, old ways of doing things. Like, for example, I remember having a conversation just recently with individuals frustrated because the only way they can get in touch with their doctors is through faxes. Like, who the hell has who has a fax machine these days, right? So I'm just wondering, in terms of, because, in terms of the growth that you're projecting, are you also looking at potentially having conversations with some of the training institutions, some of the medical schools, so that, as part of the training, they're just, you're raising awareness about the fact that there are different ways of, designing and, fabricating, these insoles, these, right? So just wondering if that's part of your plan, because what I saw was, great growth projections, but what I'm unclear about is how you plan to get there.
Okay. Yeah, we have tried a lot of things. We went to a conference shows, and we found out all the doctors are very busy, and then they got gatekeepers. It's hard to approach them from outside. So we found out the best way so far is online webinar. So we go through their associations. Then we sponsor an online webinar. So that association can send a webinar notice to each of their members. And our webinar usually is in the night, like 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. So off the clinic time. So if they are interested, they can spend like a 40 minutes jumping to learn that. And we usually have a doctor, like Dr. Paul Langer, hosting that, answer all the questions. And I think it's better. We didn't deal with other like a training facilities yet, but down the road, we do have a lot of videos, private YouTube channels regarding every step they can do. So we found out it's very useful to that. So yeah, the training facilities definitely will be the one once we get a lot like scaled up.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Young. We have to go to our next pitch. Unfortunately, we're getting crunched for time. But judges, if you have additional questions for Young, please feel free to send those in private chat to him as well. So thank you so much, Young.
Okay.
Well done.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Up next, we have Colin Breckel with the team at Castlebreck, telling us about how they've taken on a deep digital transformation. Colin, please welcome and join us.
Hello, everyone. All right, sharing's good, correct? Adam?
Looks good, buddy. Well done.
Okay, excellent. Thanks for the opportunity to present, and I think it's only appropriate to mention what a great asset to the community WEtech is. Thanks a million, Adam and team. Standard confidentiality notice. This is an agenda for presenting our own scale-up journey. And you might not be real familiar with Castlebreck. We were established back in 1998, but we've had a fairly minimal local presence for about 15 years. And during that time, we've done business across Canada, the US, Europe, and UK. We've really proven our ability to execute. We've been a key business partner for multiple software vendors. During that time, we've been recognized for these successes. I've personally been named multiple-time IBM champion and multiple-time HCL ambassador, which are these companies' advocacy programs. I've also held a seat on the Worldwide Business Partner Advisory Council, and we've served many large enterprise companies traded publicly, as well as mid-market organizations. In serving the software community, I'm a core team member to the C3UG, which is the Cross Canada Cloud and Collaboration User Group. And I'm a co-creator of courses and a content creator in our worldwide software community. I think that's enough C's for now. We really have the right team in place to scale. We really believe in both internal expertise and external advisors. So we've got a great team on operations that deliver incredible availability, long-time relationships with several different lawyers, each with specialty domains. good financial discipline with a part-time CFO. That was something I really learned from one of the early customers I worked with who worked that way. Internal finance team member and external chartered accountant. Professional designer that helps make everything we do beautiful, software engineering talent, and some nice external agency relationships to help deliver multi-touch campaigns and some digital work. So the problem, our main problem, this is through the lens of our business problem solved through ScaleUp, except for point 5. The first one was that our business model needed to evolve from low velocity, large enterprise engagements, which tend to have, as you probably know, extremely long sales cycles and very involved with professional services, at the same time as being completely dependent on the IP of other vendors via resale. Number 2, we realized that point in time customers weren't as much seeking the products we formerly sold millions of dollars of. Number 3, this became an existential issue to our company amid declining market share of those products. So number 4, having been very successful executing with resale of others' IP, we decided we should focus on our own product. Number 5, if you want to be successful yourself, you of course have to focus on your customer and their business problem. So the customer business problem is their business changes so fast, and at the same time there's development skills, scarcity, and cost, and they need business apps to keep pace with their business change. And our customer research have really validated this. Quite honestly, the last decade, we could call it a decade of customer research because we really looked at gaps we were frequently asked to fill and adjacencies in product portfolios. And we've kind of kept a good log of what people were asking for. So we know what customers want in their digital workplaces. They're looking for security, which is built into our platform and processes. They want skills, which are scarce. We take on responsibility for learning and keeping those skills current. They need their apps to change as fast as their business changes. The solution. So Castle Blocks is our digital workplace platform, which I'll get into more on the next slide. And it's continued with the development of new Castle Blocks modules built on top of the platform. First up is the Forge, which is our digital work and service module. It's where work gets done. Followed by Sell, which is our digital sales and commerce module, and by Buy, our procurement module. I won't deep dive on this. It's a little bit technical, but in summary, it makes things faster and easier. Without Castle Blocks, there's significant cost up front to deliver business capabilities in their digital workplace software. This takes significant time to value, and while they're waiting for it, they don't have those capabilities that they're building. And finally, in creating a large portfolio, a large body of custom work, it adds a lot of ongoing operational expenses that become increasingly expensive and cumbersome to maintain. This solution addresses all of the above. The Forge is our digital work and service management module. It allows frictionless digital work environment with which teams can collaboratively accomplish their objectives together. The Forge is where work gets done. The market opportunity. So customers need agile digital workplace software to support distributed workforces, and work from home, as you're all aware, already was becoming the norm and has been further accelerated. These trends are not unique to our customer base, and the total addressable market for digital business software is trillions of dollars. Our particular customer segment is mid-market and large enterprise, cross-industry within Canada first, followed by US and Commonwealth nations, the reason being commonality of language, business practices, and laws. So competition. In each of the focus areas, there definitely are established market competitors, but we've got some strong differentiators. We build beautiful apps that inspire business users to use them, and they execute better as a result. Our 100% owned IP means there's no royalty drag on the core components, and so that lowers total cost of ownership. The Castle Blocks platform also means new innovations can be realized with a lot less CapEx than traditional development. So we can bring them to market at lower cost and even ideate in market. If we test things in market, that's really the best way for validation. And because of how we're structured, we can actually do that. It would be financially infeasible otherwise. Our meaningful integrations that utilize some limited third-party IP are not core to the platform. They solve specific ancillary issues, but even they have very low costs relative to industry peers. So the outcome of all of this is we can sell our solution at a very attractive price while maintaining high margins. And our experience has allowed us to deliver deep customer relationships and customer care. So our cloud managed apps practice, this structure ensures that customer requests are addressed by a team who's intimate with the customer environment, work, and style. And as we grow, this will continue to be a North Star metric. It's what helped us be a leader in the first place. It's what will help us be a leader with our own solutions. Traction. We know we have a winner here, and we've been focusing on the velocity of solution delivery. And we've got great efficiency gains in building each release, which is reduced from a half to a full day down to mere minutes. We can more quickly address smaller transaction engagements and be more profitable. Financially, it might sound counterintuitive, but it can be less scary dealing with large enterprise engagements because it corrects for inefficiencies along the way. But you have to be very efficient when bringing things down market. And this is what we've been focused on, and this will let us scale. So we haven't been actively trying to sell it too much during laying down the infrastructure for our scale up, but we already have a pipeline of opportunities growing. We've recently also signed up our first channel partner that's super excited about it, and a new customer project awarded based on Castle Blocks this week alone. Our scale up journey, we didn't want it to be superficial. We wanted it to be a super deep investment in the business and technical infrastructure to truly scale. And with expert guidance from WEtech, we actually established our own progression matrix to chart the most meaningful transformations we felt were needed. Coming into this, because of who we served and what we did, we hadn't paid enough attention to our digital presence. Our website hadn't been recently updated. We didn't have e-signatures or automated credit card processing in place, which wasn't as needed for the enterprise space. They do traditional legal review and typically pay by EFT. To establish mid-market growth, these are things that are really needed and we've invested in. And, we've really delivered on these things. And, this shown are the start and end of the progression matrix. And we're over the moon to continue with expert advice from WEtech to keep filling up the funnel. We progress and we win sales opportunities. And in addressing the business model, our original model that we had come up with had high enough margins, but after running the numbers, it actually turned out to be infeasible. If you look all the way to the right, if you start with a goal on the left and look all the way to the right, 24,000 companies is what we had to target. After a revised set of assumptions,
hey, Colin.
6,200.
Sorry, buddy, we hit the 8-minute mark there.
Okay, can I make the ask or is it the hook?
Absolutely, we'll make the ask and hopefully the judges will ask us a few more questions there.
You bet. So how would the award be utilized? Client team help, customer first, channel program formalization, and digital and multi-touch marketing. Why Castlebreck? We've executed to date. In working with our vendors, we've sold millions of dollars of their software. The impact of our efforts comes back to Windsor-Essex in the form of jobs, investments, and enhanced visibility. And we've managed well through atrophying markets. We were careful, we cut burn rates, and we've actually achieved the really difficult goal of being able to invest for the future while being stable in the meantime. And this money will really ensure sustainability of our company as we springboard. And that's it.
Well done, buddy. Good job. All right, judges, we have time for a few questions as well. Perfect. Jason, absolutely. Go ahead.
Hi. Thanks, Colin. Curious about your business model. Is it basically like consulting and implementation that you guys bill on, or is it like a SaaS model with per seat billing, or what does that look like?
So our direction is a SaaS model with per seat billing.
Okay.
We have client ready in the meantime. Traditionally, we've done a lot of cloud managed apps, which is like a managed services focused on software applications. So it not as much traditional break-fix T&M.
Okay. Just a second follow-up question as well. So in the building of these custom business applications, who does that? Is that your team or is that someone on the client side?
Sometimes it's a hybrid between both teams. Sometimes it's their team with some upfront enablement. And in some cases, customers want us to retain responsibility for a portfolio of apps. Not all the apps in their portfolio if they're a huge enterprise, but targeted apps.
Great, thanks.
Fantastic. Awesome. Thank you so much. It looks like Mike Slipchuck, we've got a question from you.
Hey, Colin, great presentation. And if you touched on this, my apologies, but it sounds like you guys are targeting like medium and large enterprises. Do you guys ever foresee yourself getting into the small business segment for your services and products?
That definition's loaded because everybody has a different definition of what large is. Like to us, really large is hundreds of thousands of employees. Really small is the micro business with 5 employees. Anybody who information is strategic to their business and has, say, 25 or up is somebody that can be a client of ours.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Colin. Any other questions from the team? look like a fantastic. Colin, thank you so much. We appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely. Up next, we have Laurie from Durabyte here to talk to us about collaborative robots and the amazing things going on over at Durabyte. Curtis, go ahead.
All right, hello everybody. My name is Laurie. I'm just going to share my screen here with you guys. All right, it should be up. So, good morning. My name is Laurie. I'm the Vice President here at Durabyte, and I'm really excited to be here today to talk to you about our local tech-forward automation company based right here in Windsor, Ontario. So, I am here to provide you guys the opportunity to be part of our success by investing in local automation for the future of manufacturing. Durabyte was started in 2002 with the founder having an early roots in the Department of National Defense and with many years following into programming automated systems on manufacturing lines. Durabyte was founded on selling resources to help other people get projects completed. And Durabyte was exclusively a resource house for the automotive powertrain industry, that's engine and transmissions. Durabyte was highly reliant on a single customer and a single area of focus due to some past successes, but there was some employee turnover and a shifting focus, industry shifting focus away from internal combustion engines really slowed the growth of the organization. Durabyte was also faced with COVID-19 along with everybody else at the beginning of 2020, and nearly all of our employees were forced from their programming roles at these individual manufacturers, and unfortunately, they were placed on a temporary hold. I'm happy to say that all of our employees are back, but this essentially was the catalyst for change for our organization. We knew that we could not continue this path. We pivoted directly to turnkey automation. Durabyte started its machine building arm of the business in early 2020 in the direct wake of the pandemic. We grew by adding 8 additional team members, inclusive of mechanical designers, electrical designers, and automation builders. And Durabyte started building its second only product ever with a marketing outreach. That product was called the Clean Cell. It was really our springboard into custom automation solutions for manufacturing across a variety of industries. Durabyte is very focused on expanding its reach into these new industry segments, both in auto and non-automotive applications, such as exterior components and interiors of the vehicles, as well as non-automotive applications in agriculture and pharma, food and bev, and so on. We see this as our sustainable growth. Durabyte has seen an exponential and record growth in 2021, with projected end-of-year targets at almost 25 projects. The journey has not been easy. In 2019, we were a purchase service company, 70% of our revenue US-based, and we're faced with a pandemic. We're based out of Windsor, Ontario. That means we could not cross the border to do our jobs. We then completely rebranded Durabyte, launched a new website, launched new literature, new business cards, and with help from local talented graphic designers, we were able to put a huge sales push. We utilized cold calling and email campaigns and new social media platforms that we have never touched before, such as LinkedIn and YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. And in 2021, we built the most complex project to date, and that is our dual coordinated robot platform with built-in calibration. It's 2 robots that work together to complete a task with built-in redundancy. All of this would not have been possible without this strategic pivot. And WEtech Alliance has been a huge part of our success. In the last several months, we've explored opportunities in agriculture, aquaponics, food and bev, and the plastics industries, and of course, the new growing battery industry. And we've also implemented a new CRM system so that we can keep touch with these newer clients. And this, again, with Adam's help, could not have been attained. So we're extremely grateful for that. We know, though, that automotive is not the only market segment, and we are actively going after this unrealized market potential. Automotive does present very difficult and unique challenges for automation, and we're capitalizing on that knowledge into these new industries. We're utilizing products like collaborative robots and machine vision and automated guided vehicles into these new spaces which haven't seen automation. But we're repurposing this technology for applications like cutting of produce, cutting of baked goods, meat products. And the demand for the Canadian tech is here. It's on the rise. People are shifting their focus from offshore equipment to locally sourced equipment. And this is key. Our team members, comprised of our founder, Murray Van Weergen, myself, Vern Bolton, our technical director, who puts together all of our technical solutions, and Phil Romanello, who leads our programming division. And of course, Joe, our accountant, to keep everything on path and on track financially. Our products range. We have the ability to build all styles of solutions, but our three core competencies are our tabletop designs, such as our Clean Cell, which is a quick-to-deploy tracking solution with a built-in reporting structure. Our medium-sized solutions, which are robotic assembly, robot pick-and-place, and packing type of applications, or our fully automated large dual robot systems with coordinated motion, which takes months of time to deliver on budget and on time. But our competitive advantage is that we don't take the traditional machine builder approach. Most automation houses have a full staff of mechanical and electrical designers working on these automation cells with very few controls programmers to work. At Durabyte, we attack the problem very differently than everybody else. We have a full staff of controls programmers, which requires less mechanical and electrical assistance, and we are able to blend the highest end technology from robotics and from tech infrastructure into these software solutions and into these hardware solutions so that we can provide a simplified mechanical solution. Now, automation in the Canadian industry hasn't been adopted as early as with others, and many automation manufacturers are located outside of Canada, which presents itself in that unique logistical challenge. The challenge where Durabyte can shine is being that local automation house in Southwestern Ontario and being that group to go to for fast response and for problem-solving types of applications. Our diversified growth has been key to the success. We've done projects in interiors, in autonomous guided vehicles, with collaborative robots, in plastic injection molding, weigh and packing solutions, manual workstations, prioritize and call for materials through new network-based solutions, and through applications, difficult applications like plug and cap bottling solutions, which are extremely high speed and extremely high precision. And on the left, you can see the graphs. In 2019, we had no project work. And in 2021, we'll end the year at roughly 25 applications with our forecast at over 45 applications for next year. We have projects in the pipe. You can also see that we were in 2019 100% focused on service, and our forecast for 2022 is that we're going to be roughly 60-40 split, and I see that continuing to change, which is a great thing for our organization.
So Curtis, unfortunately, that's time, buddy.
Yeah, okay. I'm very excited about the advancement in technology, and I hope that you're as excited as I am. Durabyte is looking for the investment of $20,000 to onboard our dedicated project manager, and we're going to use that money to shift the focus from the sales team onto sales activities and take the project task to a dedicated project manager. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Well done. Thank you so much. All right, judges, do we have some questions for Curtis?
Hi, Curtis. It's
Hi,
Laurie
Laurie.
Atkinson at Libro Credit Union. You did mention some opportunities in new markets for you, specifically interested in some of the early success you're seeing in the agricultural or greenhouse market.
Mm-hmm. So we are actively pursuing some applications, and we have received a couple of purchase orders from these organizations now regarding new technology developments for cutting applications utilizing water jet product. So we're very excited about that. Again, greenhouse is growing rapidly with the use of automated guided vehicles for watering and for produce picking, along with machine vision applications in that industry, and we're very excited to be a part of that.
Thank you so much, Laurie.
I'm sorry, Curtis, great presentation. Just a quick question though, knowing we hear from employers all over the place that it's difficult recruiting skills. Do you already have a candidate in mind, or do you still have to go to market to find the right person with the use of these funds?
So you are absolutely going to go to market to find this individual, and you're absolutely correct. It's a very difficult time to find somebody. But we're confident that with our model, our business model, and the exciting adventure that we're on, being relatively greenfield in this automation equipment building type of business, that we should be able to attract the right person that's just as passionate as we are.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Curtis. Well done, buddy. Oh,
thank you very much, Adam. Really
and do you have a question?
I'm having a problem getting on the video, but Curtis, thank you so much. Very interesting. Again, I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Young, which is that, you're starting 2019, you're just starting off, and then a year from now, you're projecting 45 projects.
Right.
So again, how are you promoting, how are you marketing, where, are you working with, I know that, WEtech is incredibly helpful in this respect, but are there other partners that you're working with in terms of, raising awareness about your products and what you're able to offer? And so just wanted to hear a little bit more about, how you're promoting your company.
So it's very interesting. We are using a very targeted marketing approach. We are building extremely detailed videos, and you can see that through YouTube, and we are getting a lot of traction from people that want to be part of our success. So we have a automated buffing and sanding company that we are working with on a couple of applications right now, and we are utilizing them, and they are bringing us applications without us asking. So we are actually seeing some organic growth just by promoting ourselves through the use of social media, but we also have a very direct approach with our customers too. If there's somebody we want to talk to, we have no problem picking up the phone and getting that meeting.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Sam.
Well done, Curtis, and thank you so much. All right, our next presenter and challenger is Ortaliza Urban Farms with Karina Biaki, who's going to be giving us her presentation. So Karina, please take over.
Will do, with pleasure. So let's do it. So I'm going to start telling you that this is a story about how a family's problem is turning into other family solution, and how we believe we can help our own industry nationwide. So having
Karina, you might want to share your screen.
Oh, it's not showing to you?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay. So let's do this.
There we go.
Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay, so let's do it. Yeah, so this was the first slide for the story part, because it is a family story. Yeah, now it's not going. Great. Let's go. So by having busy and professional lives and a family had a huge impact on how we ate. And we noticed that around ourselves through our family and friends' own experience, and even through market research. So eating healthy, it can be challenging. It's not necessarily convenient. And bringing ingredients just so they could die in our fridge was a constant frustration. And it would make us feel wasteful and guilty. But the problem wasn't us. It was on the quality and the freshness of the greens we would have access to. And COVID just made it even more clear for us, to all of us, the importance of health and access to fresh food. So that's how we came across microgreens. But what are microgreens exactly? They're basically young vegetables or herbs. Their harvest is just a few days or weeks after germination. They're packed with nutrients. They can have up to 40 times more nutrient density than the same vegetable in an older stage of life. And they also a burst of flavor, extremely convenient and versatile. We ourselves started adding them to our every meal, and it helped us get a little bit healthier on a daily day. So we are a couple, but it was also clear to us that we had the perfect founding team right at home, and that we both would bring complementary skill sets to help solve this challenge. So it's a pleasure to present you with our entire team. So in one side, we have Alvaro, our co-founder and COO, coming from the greenhouse industry and being a specialist in controlled environment agriculture. And myself, Karina, co-founder and CEO, and having had roles in corporate and consulting positions and had an education and professional business background. So we knew we would have to tackle, we knew our solution would have to tackle the freshness aspect. And for that, we would have to, we aimed at decreasing the time between harvest and the table, your table. And by that, I mean same day. And that would result in more flavor and higher nutritional value and improved fridge life instead of shelf life to busy families. And more than ever, we had to bring convenience to the health eating realm. And for that, we would build our business model around online ordering, home deliveries, and grab-and-go solutions at our store. With all of that in mind, we designed the first of its kind vertical farm in Canada by having a storefront, where I'm located right now, attached to our production, where customers would come to try microgreens for the first time, purchase them, harvest on the spot, and be introduced to this new amazing world of microgreens. And boom, we did it. In a retail space, we actually created a place where we would connect or even reconnect people to farming, especially in urban areas where people don't usually have access or easy access to fresh food that is produced year-round in a pesticide-free environment. And that was the start of our mission to change people's relationship with food. So what have we done so far? From the second half of 2020 to the beginning of this year, we started putting our business plan together and making sure we would take our idea, make it take off the ground. And on March 19th of this year, so just about 8 months ago, we had our grand opening and we put our MVP or prototype business to market. And from that moment on, we started operating it and testing our hundreds of assumptions and getting market feedback. Then by joining the ScaleUP program, we started actually assessing the data we've been collecting, intensify our customer discovery by doing actual customer interviews, and iterating, putting our learning into practice. So the work we've been doing through the program, from a production perspective, getting our time studies and our crop data collection, we were able to identify our production limitations and our bottlenecks so we could prioritize what we had to tackle first. We also validated the potential for technology development for micro farming. And by that, I mean growing in a small scale, not necessarily just microgreens. And what we needed to do to prepare for scale, our expansion phase. And from a marketing and sales perspective, our customers in market discovery allow us to understand the challenge that our product adoption and learning curve were in front of us. The potential, we uncovered the potential to kind of innovate and change the consumer experience with an agricultural product and what we would need to do to propel us for revenue growth. So here are just some of the programs we've been doing during this past few months with the ScaleUP program. I will save you from the details, but the point is there are a lot of moving parts, and our major growth was in understanding what we need to do in order to grow this business and get it ready for scale. So we had just like a few changes, for example, from a production perspective, bringing some semi-automation. We have a tray wash, and that increased our sanitation process 90%. So it brought efficiency, streamlined our production. Changing the store hours, reducing it, and we had a sales increase by doing that. Focusing so much on our customer journey and customer experience for a subscription program, and end up having 100% rotation rate last month. So talking a little bit about the traction we had with the program, we saw our churn rate go from the horrible 75% from the first couple of months of operations to low 6% in the last 3 months. Being that in October and so far in November, we had 0 people dropping out of our subscription program. We also learned a lot about how we would make money, our revenue models, and different from what we actually forecasted. We're seeing that 60% of our revenue are coming from subscribers, and we have a 40% shared with restaurants and chefs and in-store sales. So it's clear for us now where we need to invest, at least at this moment and at this location. So overall, we saw our gross sales grow 40% in October compared to our average prior to the ScaleUP program. And it's important to notice that everything we've done so far has been with non-paid investments, so all organic growth. In terms of competition, in one side, we have large vertical farm operations selling through the traditional wholesale channel, basically grocery stores. And on the other hand, we have home growers, some local farms trying to compete in the direct consumer. But what really makes us unique and different is, first of all, we are first to market with this business model. We have our incredible branding and marketing initiatives. We have an amazing customer relationship. We have our work and our efforts in educating and bringing awareness to our customers. We are a local grower. We have an amazing diversity in terms of our crop. We currently grow more than 60 varieties of microgreen, and our potential for scale. So we're here today to ask you to help us move forward, to help us to get to the next level. So a small portion of the prize will be put towards labor. And it might sound like just like a tiny amount, but it will actually unlock hours time to start working on the production side. So bringing automation, mechanization. And that's where the 40% of the prize would go towards investing in that part. And that is what actually is going to support our growth and prepare us to scale, prepare us to grow to other locations. And finally, I would be able to start pouring some resources in what I know we need to do to take this business to the next level, to respond to our market with what they've been asking for.
Wonderful. Good job, Karina. Fantastic. Awesome. Judges, do we have some questions for Karina? Cam?
Karina, great presentation and congrats on the company. Question for you, what's the cost of customer acquisition? An impressive churn rate as well, too.
Yeah, I put a lot of work to reduce that churn rate. It's been 0%, right, in the last a month and a half. And that's a good question. Like I haven't put any resource into acquiring customers. Everything that I'm doing, it's word of mouth, and of course using WEtech resources and their network. And that's my goal now, Cam. Is I have my bullseye framework, and I do want to test out a few things to see which of those marketing initiatives would bring best results moving forward. And then I will have my customer acquisition cost compared to my lifetime value of my customer.
And how many users do you have right now?
So in terms of my subscription program, we have around 35 people right now. In total, I would say we have 100 customers, like our loyalty customers coming to the store on a weekly, bi-weekly basis, but subscriptions, 35 people in the region.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Janine, absolutely.
Yeah, Karina, great presentation and a wonderful initiative. I have some questions around your growth, and this might be slightly outside of where you are today, but when you think about growth, is this about being able to open multiple locations to supply locally, or is this about working with franchisees Like, what do you have a role or a model outlined as far as that's concerned, or is it too premature yet to know?
No, that's a great question. And it's not premature because that was the whole concept before, right? Coming from the agricultural industry, we understand the challenge and we know scale. It's what we need to be able to grow, right? So we do know we need multiple locations to get to our business goals and where we want to be. But we needed to have a prototype. We needed to have a first experience to learn and know for sure what we need to do, know how to be capital efficient and where our money should go. Vertical farming is a very tech-driven industry, and it should be, but the approach that we decided to take was market-driven. We decided to learn how the market works, what do we actually need, and technology is gonna be the next step, and technology is it's gonna be what is gonna take us to that expansion. In terms of if we're gonna be a franchise or not, that is still to be answered. Our plan is to own a few other stores to make sure we understand the business model and we know how to make this successful before we make the decision.
Thank you. That's a great answer. And thank you for the information.
Thank you, Jenny.
Awesome. Karina, thank you so much. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you, WEtech.
Awesome. Our last presenter of the day is Emily Johnson from Stronger You. Emily, the floor is yours.
Okay, awesome. Can you see my slides?
We can, yeah.
Okay, very good. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Emily Johnson, and I'm the founder of Stronger You Senior Fitness. Stronger You Senior Fitness is an innovative and globally unique fitness education company. We train recreation and fitness professionals to become Stronger You Senior Fitness instructors. We do not offer fitness classes for seniors. We are an education provider, not a fitness class provider. Prior to launching Stronger You, I worked in community chronic disease management and for 3 of Canada's largest senior living operators. In my most recent role as Regional Manager of Recreation, I supported a team of 49 directors of recreation spread across BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and Ontario. And this is where I really saw that there was a need for quality fitness education. And that's why I decided to found Stronger You, was out of that passion and frustration for the lack of resources for my team. The other half of the Stronger You team is Abby Evans, who is our Director of Digital Storytelling, and she has been absolutely instrumental in our brand development, social media strategy, and telling the Stronger You story in a compelling manner. Throughout my career, it became more and more apparent that there was a widespread need for education, tools, and resources to improve the quality of senior fitness classes taking place in both the senior living sector and in the community. In Canada, 1.5 million seniors fall each year, and this costs our healthcare system about $2 billion annually. 500,000 Canadians currently live with dementia, and that number is expected to double by the year 2030. Quality fitness classes are the most effective way to help older adults to stay or become more physically strong, intellectually sharp, and socially connected while reducing falls, decreasing incidence of chronic disease and dementia. Yet, the recreation professionals working with seniors are often given no to limited training to facilitate these classes. They show up on day one and their new boss tells them that exercise is at 9:30. They often don't ask about credentials or experience. And so these professionals end up referring to exercises on outdated and crumpled up pieces of paper. They look at questionable videos found on YouTube, or even worse, VHS. Even if they have attended a senior fitness instructor training, they still end up going to Google and YouTube because prior to the launch of Stronger You, the current course offering didn't link the knowledge to the practical implementation. And this resulted in a steep and lengthy learning curve to becoming a highly skilled instructor. To solve this problem, I founded Stronger You Senior Fitness to empower senior-serving organizations like retirement communities and long-term care homes and their staff to deliver high-quality, safe, and dynamic senior fitness experiences. As I mentioned, we don't teach senior fitness classes. Instead, we use an innovative and globally unique training-as-a-service model to train the recreation staff who are already working at senior living organizations, and and they are the ones to deliver the Stronger You senior fitness classes. Here you can see some of our nearly 300 instructors from around the world who are giving our course rave reviews. I created Stronger You to address all of the pain points of traditional senior fitness education. We offer accessible, self-paced education through our online instructor course, and we're the only senior fitness education company globally to offer 30 minutes of brand new class content monthly in a rotation of 4 formats. Our dynamic program uses a holistic approach that has a big focus on maintaining and improving brain health in addition to physical health. Here you can see how we stack up to our competitors. Most of our competitors operate using that traditional model. There are a few you can see who have started to provide some class content, but not using 4 formats and not directly targeting the senior living industry like we do. Our sales model is B2B to large senior living operators with anywhere from 10 to hundreds of retirement communities and staff to be trained within their portfolio. We do have additional organic B2C sales direct to recreation and fitness professionals who find out about us primarily through our organic social media presence and referrals. Founded in 2019, we've grown to nearly 300 instructors and 15,000 seniors gaining access to high-quality fitness classes across 9 Canadian provinces, 18 US states, Australia, and New Zealand. We're the official senior fitness certification for organizations like Amica, Seasons, Merrill Gardens, Generations, with many more exciting partnerships on the horizon. Our our instructor course is $250, and our class content subscription is $20 per month per instructor, or $50 per department of 3 or more. There are over 1,500 retirement communities and long-term care homes in the US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and the UK. And so this market represents over $107 million in potential reoccurring annual revenue for Stronger You, and the potential to help over 15 million older adults gain access to high-quality fitness programming. Our strategy is to continue to focus on our B2B efforts in the senior living sector, as this is the market that I come from. This is a place I'm very well connected in, and I generally make our new partnerships through LinkedIn, doing educational presentations as well as conferences. And there are additional market opportunities for Stronger You within post-secondary education, community and fitness centers, home care organizations, and more. We have launched into the post-secondary sector with our Stronger You student sponsorship program, where we've partnered with 22 college and university programs across Canada and plan to push for Stronger You to be included in kinesiology and therapeutic recreation curriculums by September 2022. You can see since 2019, we've had really modest growth so far. The COVID-19 pandemic has created some challenges with closing large accounts for us, but it has also expedited the closing of others. We do currently have over $1 million worth of deals and conversations in our pipeline today, and so we do expect to close over $500,000 of sales in 2022 and over $800,000 in 2023. Taking part in ScaleUp has truly accelerated our business. One really important milestone was adopting HubSpot, which allowed us to implement automated email sequences that are helping to close deals much faster. I'm ashamed to tell you that I used to be in the sales zone about once per week, if that, and now I'm in it daily due to adopting the HubSpot. The team also helped us to refine our customer journey as well as identify a platform for us to have even more customer journey automation. We also redesigned the Stronger You website, and we're currently working to prepare for investment. All of these refinements led to a 50% increase in sales last month. So what if we win? Well, we are serving a market that very much still is battling the COVID-19 pandemic. So winning the ScaleUp prize money will ensure that we're set up for success in 2022 by attending critical senior living conferences where we meet new important customers. The prize money will help us to support these 6 key conferences in Canada and the US, which will be instrumental to the health of our business in 2022. Thanks so much for your attention today, and I look forward to your questions.
Great job, Emily. Wonderful. Judges, Anne, it looks like you've got a question.
I do. Thanks so much, Emily. How interesting. And yeah, I could certainly see the impact of COVID, especially in terms of your, B2B model that you've identified. Very interesting. I mean, this is something that is very, close. Considering I've got two parents who are quite, elderly. They live in a long-term, not long-term care. They live in a seniors residential facility, and this is really important to them. So, the training and the fitness, especially for my father. My mother suffers from Alzheimer's, so like this is so topical in so many ways. I guess my question is in terms of like, are you the only one doing this? Like, who is your competition? And so that's I'm interested in just knowing that. And certainly, my sister is actually the director for Tapestry. So I don't know if you know Tapestry, but they're based. So, I'm delighted to make some introductions there if you're interested. So I don't know if you've got an in there, but that's certainly something. I think she'd be very interested in hearing your story. But but who is your competition out there?
Yeah, so we actually don't have any direct competition, as I kind of showed that chart with all the, little ticks and the X's, because what happens is most organizations who offer fitness education offer it for the general population, for kids, for seniors. So they don't have the capacity to do what we do, which is to offer that 30 minutes of brand new class content that the instructors learn and teach. So what we see right now is you go to like a 2-day course on the weekend and you're a fitness instructor, yay. And these fitness instructors are like, okay, I went to the course, but like, what do I actually teach now? They might only have 5 or 10 exercises that they actually learned at that course. So what we do is take them from the bottom of that learning curve, skyrocket them right to the top. So they're teaching super high quality dynamic classes right away. And just most of them being in person, that traditional model, like you have to go to a major city, give up your weekend. Like a lot of senior living organizations can't afford to lose their staff for the 2 days. And depending on where it is in the world, they can't afford to send them there. So we've just filled this need specifically in the senior living industry and in others where they can do it around their crazy schedule. They get the high quality content, so they're not left to these crumpled up pieces of papers and Google searches. So yeah, we are the only ones currently doing what we're doing globally. And that's why we've spread globally, really just kind of by word of mouth. And then in terms of Tapestry, yes, I have a few contacts at Tapestry. We haven't closed them yet. The Canadian marketplace is really still entrenched in the COVID-19 pandemic. So we have focused the last 8 months in the US because they're more business as usual moving forward. But I always am open for new connections at companies, even if I already have one there. So would love for that connection to be made. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks so much. Jason, you've got a question.
Yeah, so thanks, Adam. So curious about how these courses are available. Do you guys have like a website, a mobile app? How do people get access to the content?
Yep, it's completely online and self-paced, which was great because everyone else who did the in-person thing, COVID-19 hit, we're the only option for quite a while, which served us well. But I did it online on purpose because of the need for that self-paced and to do it from the comfort of their work, which is where most of them are doing it. So they can access it on a smartphone, on a tablet, on their computer, and they just go at it around their schedule.
Great, thanks. Also, just curious about who's creating the course content.
Yep, that's me. Everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it might be. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jason. Mike?
Hey, Emily, great presentation. And nice to see you again as well. Question, I know you're online driven, but a common issue I see with my clients when I deal with businesses with the rapid growth that you anticipate, do you see any challenges with capital and or resources? Resources meaning staff, anything like that, because usually with growth it's a good challenge to have, right? So I just wanted to kind of touch on that and see what your take was.
Yeah, so like winning this 20 grand, if we do, will be like crazy monumental for our business because basically I quit my job about a year and a month ago now and lived off of a nest egg that I had saved up. So I didn't pay myself until a month ago, and now I just paid myself to cover my bills. So, basically it's ensuring that I can continue to give full-time effort to this and not have to, get a job or anything like that. And we can continue to reinvest in the conferences because that's our biggest most expensive piece. But so for example, there's a conference I'm about to pay for. It's I think $2,500, but we won't see any return on that for 18 to 24 months because you have to pay for the conference about a year in advance. Then sometimes it takes a year fully to see what the impact of that conference is. We just closed a huge deal, but that started a year ago at a conference that I went to. So yeah, definitely being able to afford to prepay for these conferences, to afford the salary of myself and Abby so we can continue to push forward is really critical to the health of our business.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Laurie, did you have one final question for Emily?
I did, and maybe that's you just maybe touched on it there a little bit. Your sales strategy, Emily, have you thought about engaging other resources to support you in that sales cycle and closing that gap and that length of time?
Yeah, some of it comes down to just the sales cycle of budget seasons for these large companies. Luckily, our price point is really affordable for a lot of them. So a lot of them don't have to wait until like 2022 budget season comes around to get it in for the 22 budget. They can just do it throughout the year at any time. But for our larger organizations, when they have 200 communities spread across the U.S. as an example, those are really big financial commitments for those companies. So sometimes we do have to wait 8 months, a year plus for them to be able to put it in the following year budget. But we do also need to scale the team. That's the next thing that funds would be looking towards, because right now it's me bringing in the new deals, closing those deals, but then supporting the rollout. And so when I get entrenched in supporting the rollout, I'm not doing as much of bringing on the new business. But I'm an educator and a thought leader in this space. Every conference that I go to exhibit, I'm usually also presenting at that conference. So we really easily bring in new business. LinkedIn, I'm just really well connected in the industry. So we have a ton of free ways that we bring in customers as well. But yeah, we're hitting that bottleneck of okay, I'm bringing in the customers now. I'm supporting, bringing in, now I'm supporting. So we need people on both sides who can support on those avenues.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Laurie. Thank you so much to everyone that pitched today. So right now, we're about to head away with the judges again for deliberation. But first, I really want to congratulate all of the teams. You did amazing. You put so much work into presenting here today, and it is never easy, especially from some of you who are the first time really pitching for any form of investment at all. So congratulations and well done. And well done on all the work that you put into the last 4 months. I meant what I said earlier. It is just so impressive to see the level of dedication that you've all sort of put forward to this program. So while we're about to break out and decide our $20,000 winner, I'd actually like to welcome in our keynote speaker for the day, Diana Goodwin. She's going to give our cohort and everyone in the audience some really tangible tips that she's used through growing her own business. Diana is the founder and CEO of MarketBox, a B2B sales and scheduling software designed to solve the unique challenges of business with mobile and virtual workforces. Diana initially founded Aqua Mobile, an on-demand swim lesson provider, which is now the largest of its kind in North America and Australia. The Aqua Mobile software gave her the opportunity to start and spin out MarketBox. Diana has been on television, she has won multiple awards, and is seen as a thought leader as well as an expert in the space of business-to-business growth. Diana, thank you so much for joining us today. We're so glad to have you here.
Hi, Adam. I'm so happy to be here. I'm really excited. I love talking to startups and founders at this stage. I've been there. I know the challenges. I know the struggles, and happy to today I'm going to start by sharing a little bit of my story, my journey, and hopefully share some tactical advice, some things that you guys can really use in your businesses to help you. And I'm really excited because we have a follow-up session to this 20 minutes as well, where we get to go really deep and go deeper on some of the tactics. Nothing's off limits. And this is just a little taste of that. So I am going to share my screen, walk you through some stuff, and we can go from there. So give me 1 second just to make sure it's, there you go. Can you see my presentation?
Yep, it's perfect.
All right.
Thank you.
So I'm going to share my journey and give you guys some practical advice from the trenches This is me growing up. As a kid, I was always super entrepreneurial. I always had that entrepreneurial bug. It probably drove my parents crazy, but I was always, I would try and sell their stuff. I'd have garage sales, or I'd go and start a little candy stand on the sidewalk. I made jewelry and would sell that. I started a newspaper, wasn't super successful in elementary school, but I did try and start one. And eventually when I was around 19, I started a business called Swim for Life Aquatics. And this stemmed out of, my love of swimming, of sports. I was a swim instructor myself. Working at a community center pool, teaching groups of 8 to 10 kids at a time. And that's where I got the idea to have more one-on-one private swim lessons, because I would see some of the students struggling. And I wanted to make sure that they weren't getting left behind. And I knew personally how much sports had impacted my life and helped me build confidence in my life. And I wanted to make sure all students, all children, everyone who wanted to learn to swim would be able to build that confidence. And so this was very much a side hustle at the time. I was, transitioning from high school into university. So it started with me. I was doing everything in the business. I would go and teach the swim lessons myself. I would, that's my first business card there as well that I made. So I was doing everything. And eventually though, I graduated, I got my Bachelor of Commerce from U of T. It was time for me to go and get, a full-time job, a real job, which was a management consulting job at the time at Bain & Company. But I still kept going with Swim for Life Aquatics. I was only able to spend a couple hours a week on it, but I really loved it. And I think that having that other thing besides my full-time job, it gave me perspective. And so I could really understand just how much more my heart was in Swim for Life than it was kind of in kind of my full-time job. And so after a few years at Bain & Company, I realized that really I wanted to go full-time into Swim for Life Aquatics and turn it into the next stage. And so that was essentially, where I realized, guess what? You can go and turn a side hustle into a full-time business. And to do that, I ended up going and doing my MBA at Northwestern at Kellogg in Chicago. And I rebranded the company. So I went in with the perspective of, I'm going to turn this little side hustle that's just kind of, me doing it with a couple swim instructors locally who are now teaching since I couldn't because I was full-time at Bain, and really think big picture, what I want to do. So I rebranded into Aquamobile. And from there, I leveraged my resources at the school. I took a market research course, a business writing plan course, and I was able to bring in smart people to help me build the foundation for what would transition from Swim for Life into Aquamobile. And the big lesson here is it's never too early to build and leverage your network. That's what I was constantly doing when I was doing my MBA at Kellogg. Inside the classroom, outside, I was always out there, socializing, meeting with different people. That still helps me today. There are people that I met, 10 years ago at Kellogg that have now circled back into my life and have helped me in ways I never thought would even be possible back then. And so that is something I think it's never too early to get started, and don't underestimate how important that network is going to be to your future success as an entrepreneur. So when I was building Aquamobile, the website went through many different changes. So Aquamobile, now I can say something like Uber of swim lessons to get people's mind wrapped around what it is that Aquamobile does. But back then, this was, 2011, 10 years ago, Uber was just becoming a thing. So no one really understood what it was that I was trying to do. They're like, oh, there's a market for people who want swim lessons at home. So you can see this is our very first website. I think I found someone off a freelancer.com type of site, cost $300 to make this website. And I just kind of built from there. So this was the marketing website, but really the way I knew that we were going to grow Aquamobile was through technology and leveraging technology, having a system where, customers could book themselves, buy online. But to do that, because all of the swim instructors were mobile, we needed a special system. There was no off-the-box solution for me to be able to manage all of these swim instructors if I ever wanted to grow outside of a few cities in Ontario. And so this is a first version of what our technology looked like. You can see this is 10 years old. I found a developer, $5,000 to build this. I was bootstrapping Aquamobile. But this was good enough. I know it looks very basic and simple and, oh my gosh, what is this? But it was good enough to get customers using our site and to get feedback from our customers, from our swim instructors, and even for me at the time and my office assistant, the person who was helping me with this, to get their feedback in terms of what's working, what's not working. And you can see then we iterated from there. So as that first system allowed us to generate some revenue, I reinvested that money back into another version of the system. And then from there, we got feedback and iterated again. And it kind of kept iterating from there. As we got more money, we reinvested to make the system better. And so my big takeaway here for you is iterate, iterate, iterate. It is so easy to get caught up and not be ready to kind of launch or be scared to go forward with something, but it's so much more powerful to get something out there into the market, get feedback. Yes, you might be embarrassed for what you put out there in the market, but it's going to give you so much great information instead of trying to build something for too long behind the scenes and then not be able, getting to market too late, or even worse, spending too much money and time on something that the market doesn't even want. So the next part of my journey took me from, a bootstrapped business, Aquamobile, into MarketBox. And MarketBox stemmed from Aquamobile. When I started building Aquamobile, it wasn't my intention to be a tech company back then. The reason Aquamobile became a tech company is because there was no tech solution that Aquamobile could leverage to properly grow the business. And so over the years, what started happening is other businesses started to approach Aquamobile about Aquamobile software. So these were businesses, in-home personal training businesses, in-home music lesson businesses, mobile beauty service businesses. They started to approach Aquamobile and say, hey, where can I get your software? Who built it for you? And so, over the years, I came to realize that, there's still not a great solution out there for other businesses that have mobile workforces and want to sell online. And so it was a great way, MarketBox was a great way for me to then be able to share the knowledge that I had gained throughout building, my time at Aquamobile, put that into the technology with MarketBox and help other businesses grow, so that it wasn't just me putting all my knowledge towards Aquamobile anymore. And so I saw this opportunity to help more businesses, and it was also a great opportunity for me to grow, in the next stage of my professional journey and what I was going to be sharing with the world. So MarketBox's mission is to digitize and grow service businesses. And so we have a number of companies that we help, from, a business doing private bike riding lessons for children with disabilities, tutoring companies, vet businesses, mobile detailing businesses. There's so many different businesses that we help, and that is so rewarding and fulfilling for me. And so I had two very different experiences here. I went from being a bootstrapped entrepreneur to an investor-backed entrepreneur. Two very different businesses. At Aquamobile, it was B2C, at-home swim lessons. Aquamobile is still selling directly to consumers, and it was all bootstrapped. I really started Aquamobile with a $3,000 government summer company grant, and grew it from there. I'm happy to, when we talk next, go into some of those tactics I used that allowed me to bootstrap the business. And with Aquamobile, I still to this day, even though I've pulled myself out of the day-to-day operations so I can focus on MarketBox, I still own 100% of the equity of that company. And this is very different than what I'm building at MarketBox. So MarketBox is a B2C SaaS company, very different. It's investor backed. We've got some great investors that are part of the tech community, from Mike Katchen at Wealthsimple to Andrew McDonald, who's an SVP at Uber. So we just wanted to surround ourselves with great people who understood our mission. And I'll also talk about that in more detail and just how important that is. And I'm also sharing the upside with the team at MarketBox. I want everyone to be part of, our employee stock option plan. They're just two very different business models. And had you asked me when I started Aquamobile if I would ever be doing something like MarketBox, I would not have been able to predict that whatsoever. But the big learning here is be open and be flexible. Don't be so married to kind of what you start as your business. The more open-minded you stay and flexible, it means you'll be more open to receiving the information and the data points that are coming at you so that you can improve your business in the best way possible. Even with MarketBox, being flexible has been a huge part of how we've continued to grow and evolve, especially through the pandemic. We weren't able, when the pandemic first started, we were targeting businesses with mobile workforces. And guess what? During the beginning of the pandemic, no one was going into homes. And so we added in Zoom integrations so that businesses could also open up a new revenue stream and offer online appointments. So that's just one example of being flexible. It's so important. And you'll just see what comes your way if you're just open to those signs and to receiving them. The next couple points that I want to talk about are things that I only kind of understood and grasped after kind of being able to step back and see kind of how I've evolved as an entrepreneur, as a founder over time. And when I look back and kind of think about, how could I have been more efficient, more effective? And the first one is make sure that you're baking out time for the bigger picture. Especially when you're starting the stage that you guys are at, it's so easy to get caught up in the weeds, in the small details, doing everything yourself. I've been there, and especially in the early days when you don't necessarily have that money at hand. But it's really important not to forget the big picture and bake out that time, because it'll make your life so much easier going forward. You really need to, the tactic that ended up working for me is baking out time in my schedule that is protected from everybody else. It's protected from myself, even, where I am focusing on the strategic vision of what I'm doing and making sure there's still time for that, so that I'm not getting lost in the weeds, so to speak, or focusing on just doing tasks that I think are moving the needle. But in reality, by losing sight of the bigger picture, I'm actually shooting myself in the foot, so to speak. So I know it's tough to do. I know you guys have so many tasks to cover in a day, but don't forget the big picture. my suggestion is bake out time in your schedule just for thinking. And don't be like this person here. I know as entrepreneurs, there are days where you probably feel like pulling out your hair or screaming or just staying in bed and asking yourself, why did I do this? Why am I doing it? But it's so important to make sure whatever it is that you're doing, that you're having fun and enjoying the journey. I think there were times in my entrepreneurial journey where I was always kind of thinking, oh, I'm just going to work until I get to this point. And once I get to this point, everything will be awesome. And you know, then I can relax and just chill. And the problem with that is the targets are always moving. You'll hit one milestone and then there'll be another milestone that you want to hit. And you get caught, or you can get caught into that rhythm of always trying to rush to the next thing. And therefore you're not having fun. You're not enjoying it. And so don't worry about it is what I would say to you. Take time and make sure that you're enjoying the journey. And you're going to have lots of people along the way who are trying to tell you, this is how you should be running your business, or, you know, this is what you need to do. And you should definitely be listening, you know, taking advice from other people and listening to what they have to say. But it's also important to listen to yourself and what feels right to you. I've seen too many entrepreneurs who get pulled off of, you know, what feels good to them by listening to too many other people tell them what they should be doing. And just remember, you are the creator here. This is your journey, and it has to be fun and enjoyable for you along the way. Otherwise, what's the point? So do take time to just enjoy the process and not think so much about the end goal all the time. One last thing I'll share with you here, the number one tactic to grow your business. I hold this as my North Star in everything I do with any of my businesses when I'm thinking about anything at all. And that is find ways to add value. I'm always thinking about this. I'm thinking about this when it comes to my customers, to my teams. And I used to think that I was thinking about adding value, but the last few years, I've become obsessed with the customer experience and always thinking back to that and making sure I'm always asking myself, is this decision going to help with the customer experience? And reframing how I've been thinking to that value-based perspective has really seen both my companies grow to new levels that they hadn't been reaching before. And so always be thinking about adding that value. And just because I'm talking about adding value doesn't mean that you have to be charging for everything. Adding value can come in many different forms, and we will go into depth on that next time if this is something that's interesting to you. One last thing I'll throw in here. The economy needs entrepreneurs right now. I have so much respect for entrepreneurs for what all of you are doing. The creativity, the new ideas, the innovation that you are bringing to market, that is what is going to get the economy going again. It's challenging, but it's also so rewarding. The amount of growth that I've had as a person, professionally, just even in all aspects of my life, I can really bring it back to being an entrepreneur. And so, you know, personal growth and growth for the entire economy as well, in my opinion, really stems from entrepreneurship. So thank you for what you guys are doing. I know that it can be hard and stressful at times, but I hope you take time to enjoy the journey of being an entrepreneur. So thank you.
Hi, everyone. Just give Adam a couple and the judges a couple final minutes to deliberate. In the meantime, if you have any questions for Diana, please make sure you put them in the chat box. And Diana, if you could stay on with us for a couple more minutes so our entrepreneurs can ask a few questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to answer any questions and anything we don't get to here. Like I said, we've got a 2-hour session coming up, I think in about a week and a half's time, and we can go super deep on even more tactics that I've used throughout my time as an entrepreneur. So yeah, if anyone has any questions, feel free to type them in the chat.
Oh, I can hear them wrapping up.
Oh, I believe Adam Fry has asked, what is your biggest advice in terms of early stage hiring?
Yeah, that is a great question that I can go really deep on. I'll try and keep it brief because I think the judges, it looks like they're coming back online. I'm just reading the questions coming in. Yeah, so early stage hiring, I would say it's never too early to try and find great people who are passionate about what you're trying to build. If you find someone who's, even if they don't necessarily have the exact experience that you're looking for, but if they're willing to learn and they're adaptable, and more importantly, they've got the passion for what you're doing, it will go so much further than someone who's just kind of looking for a paycheck or their next thing. That's where I've seen really talented people. That's what I'm looking for always, is people who have that passion, who get excited about what my vision is with MarketBox or, with Aqua Mobile even, and that goes a long way. I'll take that over years of experience for a specific position. And yeah, we can definitely go deeper on that one because it's so important. And I've made mistakes along the way, and I've got some tactics that I definitely want to share with you guys when we chat next about hiring. And thank you. Yeah, the passion. Yes, yeah, Curtis, you'll see what a difference it makes when you start kind of keeping your eye out and testing for that during the interviews.
Awesome. Diana, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Adam.
Awesome. And we can't wait to have you back. So for the scale-ups in the room, Diana's going to be back that first week of December on the 29th. We've got a couple hours carved out. So we're just going to confirm that again. And we'll send you over the invites as well. Awesome.
Great.
So
Looking forward to it.
Amazing.
Bye,
Thanks,
everyone.
Diana. Awesome. So we are ready to announce our winner. And at this point, I'd like to invite Stephen and Laurie up to the virtual stage to speak on behalf of Invest WindsorEssex and Libro, and of course, announce today's winner of our program.
It's all you, Laurie. Go ahead.
All right. Thank you, Steve, and thank you, Adam. And first, I really want to thank the WEtech team. Adam, you are just not only a powerhouse professional, I hear, but a great coach and real ambassador for our entrepreneurs in the region. And just again want to thank all of the participants in the cohort. It never ceases to amaze me the talent and the passion and the drive that we have right here in Windsor-Essex in our entrepreneurial community. And this, I will say, has probably been the most difficult decision that we've seen along our journey with the Scale Up and Scale Back Up program in selecting a winner. And again, I want to say that you're all winners. It truly, as I've said before, it's tough being an entrepreneur, and I see the passion with all of you, and you are all winners. And in our deliberation, I think that that's one thing that came through is everybody had comments about everyone's as an individual. So I want to, ensure that it doesn't stop here. The support that you have been receiving does not stop here. And I know that Steve would agree that our ecosystem to support entrepreneurs, I think, is second to none in our region. And we're all here to support you to be successful. And if we can do anything to support you, please don't hesitate to reach out. So Steve, I'll hand it over to you.
I would just like to add, before we go back to you, Laurie, for the announcement, the judges felt that every company is going to be successful. So as I said, it's the inevitable task. You have a competition, you've got to have one winner, but by no means do we want the companies that pitch today to think, oh, I didn't win, I'm not going to be successful. Like the judges, to a judge, felt that everybody had the possibility to definitely be successful. So to echo Laurie's comments, don't stop engaging with the ecosystem, and with that, Laurie, back over to you.
All right. Is it time, Adam?
It's time. Let's do it.
Okay. Well, we are really pleased to announce the winner of this year's cohort for the WEtech Libro Scale Backup program is, drum roll, eTractive. So Patrick Thompson from eTractive, congratulations.
Well done, Pat. Do you want to hop on camera here?
Yeah, sorry, we're having a mini celebration in the office here, guys. More than thrilled, and honestly very thankful for everybody's time today. And thank you, Laurie, for the announcement as well.
That's okay. Congratulations. If we could all hold a smile for a few minutes, our teammate sure is going to take a photo of us, but then also we'll be able to pull this from the recording too and make it look kind of pretty. So on 3,
let some folks come on with the camera. Give them a couple seconds. Everybody, come on with your cameras, everybody.
Awesome. 1, 2, young. There we go. Perfect. Thank you all so much. Patrick, congratulations. We're going to be in touch right after this. We got to grab a quote from you from the winner so we can send out the press release. To all of the participants today, thank you so much for being here. For everyone that attended, thank you so much for coming. Our judges, our board members, our mentors, none of this is possible without the passion and the drive that everyone has shown just to be here. We appreciate you spending the morning with us, and we cannot wait to see you next year for the 6th cohort of this program. Applications are open starting in July, so you'll hear news about that when that comes out. And obviously stay tuned to the news as well about all of these contestants. They're all about to do really big things with their businesses. WEtech has the honor of continuing to work with them moving forward. So this isn't it for their journey with us. And we cannot wait to be able to share more news about each and every one of them. So thank you so much for today. And we look forward to seeing you all relatively soon.
Have a good day, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Take care.